Oh yeah, Packer fans, let's go. Hope you're super excited for this. I know I'm super excited for this. Decided to even start it just a little bit early so we can take a look at some things that the Rams do that Green Bay can exploit and stuff like that. Take a little bit of a look at film and stuff if you're interested. And then from there, get ready for kickoff here right around 15 minutes from now. So quick reminder how this works. We're going to take a look at some film, and then obviously I'll be watching the game on a different screen so that we don't run in trouble with the NFL overlords for actually streaming on here. But then, hit your questions up in that comment box, wherever that's located on your screen. Super excited to roll with this. Questions, comments, hot takes. Every once in a while, Matt Nagy makes an appearance and comes and trolls a little bit, so that's always fun. So just super excited for you guys. Got a lot of friends that are Packer fans. Made a lot of friends with you along the way throughout the last 3 months or so. So not a Packer fan, but I'm really hoping they can do something special so all my friends are happy. So let's go ahead and take a look at film right away, because this is what I'm here for. Did a little bit of this last night as well, but just wanted to show maybe some of you who didn't get a chance to see the Rams defense, while very, very good, don't get me wrong, definitely has some liabilities. And one of them is their inside linebacker play. Okay, so we're going to watch this play develop here from, I think it was like week 14 or something with the Cardinals, to where they're going to key on a really, really good receiver, right? I mean, that's, and Jalen Ramsey's going to try to take him man as much as possible without exposing some weaknesses and some flaws and stuff like that. They've got some good adjustments that they can make, but they're always going to try to key on that number one receiver, and that oftentimes kills communication. So I want you to take a look at this little combo they're running here. From the trip side, you're going to have that deep cross from the slot who is on, and then you're going to have a take the top off route and a little snap off comeback, and then underneath it, they're going to run a little bit of a drag, kind of a mesh, kind of an older school mesh pattern. A lot of the air raid guys like to run this sort of stuff, so it's kind of cool to see. But because they're keying on that number one receiver, and then oftentimes they don't communicate well from the inside backer to the safety here, we're going to watch this sucker just absolutely vacate as the corner comes through on this side and drags along with that drag route all the way through the in call. There is literally nobody here, okay? And that happens more than you would think from this Rams defense. Sure, you got a safety up top kind of hidden in the logo here, but that dude ain't making a play on the ball if Kyler can get this sucker out, okay? Kyler, relatively inexperienced thrower of the football at the NFL level, and obviously under some pressure here, poor dude. But this is a read that Rodgers makes, okay? And I'm not sitting here bashing Kyler. Please understand that, because obviously he's much better than I am, and it's easy for me to sit here and be like, hey, you should have thrown the ball to the dude with nobody around him, because I don't have 315-pound angry dudes waiting to turn me into a pile of human protoplasm in my face. However, these are reads that Rodgers can and will make throughout the game. So taking a look at that one, that's a pretty simple one, I guess, to look at and be like, oh, he should have done this. But another thing Green Bay can really do here is go ahead and use Devontae right here, just like they're using Hop, and they're going to really key on him. And one of the weaknesses to the Rams really keying on a number one receiver like this is they'll go ahead and abandon the flats as long as you can hit them early. And we saw that in the Seahawks game where they could hit the flats early. If you have to hit the flats late, like a check down, the Rams are really good at rallying to the flats. So if you can hit them early, you can keep these guys kind of not out of position, but you can take advantage of that. If you hit them a little bit late, they're really good at rallying to it. So you can see here, my guess is Ramsey right here is supposed to play a funnel technique where he's going to take any vertical route from Hop to this safety and just kind of play man with outside leverage and have some help on the inside. But there's nobody out here for this flats. Okay, you can check that sucker down super quick, or just go, nope, covered, go ahead and throw it to that dude. That's an easy 1-2 progression to make. Again, I say easy because I'm not trying to be mauled by giant men, but my guess is if this is true man, this linebacker is supposed to run with it to the flats, and he's going to get caught up in that Hopkins window. Okay, you can see here, nobody around. Yeah, you can take that for a 12-yard gain if that safety is able to hit you in the flats and make an open field tackle, a 10, 12-yard gain. If we're talking to my running backs coach about this and he says my tailback gets the ball in space with only a safety to beat, if he can't go score a touchdown, my running backs coach is probably looking for a different running back. So there's definitely ways that they can beat them, and we're just excited to take a look at it. So questions, comments, thoughts, anything like that, hot takes, please always feel free to drop them in that comment box. Can't wait to get started with you guys. I'm very, very excited about this. So thanks for joining. We're going to have a lot of fun with this going on. I am going to slip out for just a moment here. I'm going to put a little note on the screen. I'm going to slip out for just a moment, kind of get myself ready, I guess, for this crazy game that we're going to have, get my ducks in a row, and we'll be back to the film room in just a moment. So I'll leave a little note, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back and we're at it. Yo, my apologies for slipping away. Had to grab the energy drink, had to get the computer situated and the YouTube Live set up all ready to go. So taking a look at a couple of things now, kind of rehashing, I guess, a little bit from last night. Okay, but if we're going to take a look at a couple of thoughts, I guess, that some fans have had, or concerns maybe, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Okay, if we're taking a look at number 20, for the Rams, Jalen Ramsey, obviously a very, very good corner. A lot of people have been concerned that he's going to be on 17 on Davante Adams all day, throughout the whole day. Number one, I highly, highly doubt that's going to happen because of just the liabilities there, and that's a really tough job to cover the number one receiver, especially a dude like Davante all day long. So I'm not thinking that's going to happen, but also if you start seeing that a little bit, Green Bay can use that to their advantage, okay? Just by using some motion and stuff. So I've come out with an H-back on the line, an 11 personnel, or like a tight end, it doesn't matter what you want to call them, okay, on the line, because we've seen in previous film study that when they do that, the Rams really like to go to this type of look, a 3-down look, so that they can close the edge right here with an outside backer. They're going to keep their Sam and their Mike in, and then this outside backer will be exposed a little bit, so it's kind of like an even shaded forefront. Okay? And by even shade, I mean the alignment of the defensive end, the nose, and the other defensive end. They're head up on offensive linemen. They're nose to nose with them, right? So, we draw the rest of the dudes in here, and they can be whoever. It could be EQ and MVS and all the other dudes that play football for you. One of the things that, if you're seeing this look, where that dude's just locked down, one of the easiest adjustments to make is put Davante Adams in motion, fast motion. Jet him across, right? Because if he's locked in man right here, well, this corner has to follow him. But the corner's got a bunch of mess to run through, right? He's got linebackers in the way, he's got a linebacker over here, right? And the Packers control the snap count. So the second that Tay gets here, and he's fast, so is Ramsey, but Ramsey's got a longer way to go, okay? So Ramsey will be like here, trying to run around that mess, while Adams is here. You can snap that football, and you can go ahead and throw it to Tay real quick. Hit him right there. Now Ramsey's got to come all this way, assuming you're going to get these blocks in the corner. Okay? Sure, you're going to get a safety barreling down into that alley, don't get me wrong, but you're going to get the ball to your very special receiver with a head start on the dude who's covering in man, right? So, theoretically, he gets his ball and gets up here. I mean, if you get this the block on the backer there, he can be one-on-one with the safety charging in. It's layup yards, okay? It's not probably going to score every single time, but it does have the ability to go get you yards. Get layup yards, do what the Packers love to do, and that's stay ahead of the chains, right? This could get you from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 4. What a great time to take a shot down the field then, right? A couple other questions I've had largely based on the Rams defense. One of them was about their coverage, okay? So, and don't get me wrong, like, the Rams have a good defense. They have a really good coverage set. One of the things they love to do is run cover 4 or quarters. Okay, we call it quarters because the corners and the safeties are responsible for a deep quarter of the field. Okay, so they love to run that, and then they like to switch it up a little bit by looking cover 4, giving that too high look, and then at the snap, snapping or spinning down to a cover 3 look, just trying to give you a different look and confuse it. There's some strengths on it. Cover 4 is obviously really, really good for taking away the deep shot, right? You can take away the deep shot with cover 4 and be in good shape, but it's liable underneath simply because you're usually out of dudes. So now you got to make the decision. Do you want a really nasty pass rush and you want to get 4 or 5 guys in on the pass rush and leave some holes in the low game? Or do you want to protect that low game, protect the high game, and get essentially no pass rush? And if you do that against Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be a long day for you. Okay? So what cover 4 quarters looks like, and it's pretty easy. Okay? And we're going to go out of a very easy formation for it, which is just doubles. Okay? Very standard formation here. Green Bay is in green, and the Rams will be in blue. What cover 4 says, and these guys' alignments can vary just a little bit. Usually it's like 8x1 inside or something like that. That means in cover 4, these dudes are responsible past this line we call the hard deck. The hard deck for most cover 4 teams is the hip of the outside linebacker. Okay, that's what these dudes are looking for. Once these guys, this is how they make their reads, okay? If they get a vertical look, and by vertical we mean this receiver runs past the hip level of that outside linebacker, and he's in your quarter, he's yours man-to-man. Okay, so if you get this look, that Hawk is going to take the M man-to-man. Same thing here. The X, let's just say, runs a fade. This would be a terrible look against quarters, but let's just say that he takes that sucker past the hard deck. Now the corner's got him man-to-man. Okay, and it works really well for some of this sort of stuff because then they can pass that off to the will backer because it never broke the hard deck. And then you'd have essentially a double team here where the corner would be riding this, kind of spying down on the will as well, and he'd be riding the outside right to the Hawk. Okay, so a pretty simple setup. This would be a terrible route combo against cover 4, but this is how that defense works. Okay, and then your inside linebackers, depending on what you're doing with them with pass rush and stuff, they can run some spy, they can run some robber, some low hole stuff. They can do whatever the heck you want them to. Okay, I know we're getting really close to kickoff, so let me just show you one thing that Green Bay can do against quarters coverage, and then I'm going to flip that game on, and we'll go. Knowing that their rules say, once you pass the hard deck, or pass this backer, he's yours man-to-man if he's in your quarter. Well, you can do this. That looks dope, right? Now that Hawk has to come down and respect that dig route, and then this X receiver can push past the hard deck, so the corner's got him man, and he can run a post. This is a Mills concept, okay? So the second this Hawk has to drive down on it, you can just juice that post and go score yourself some touchdowns. Excuse me here, I'm going to have to figure out how to get to the game. We're very close to kickoff, very excited about it. As always, drop those comments, those questions, anything you want to see, go ahead and put them right in the comments box. Reminder, I'm going to be just a little bit behind you because I'm streaming the game, right? So I'm going to have a little bit of lag. Okay, so the things that you're seeing, it might take me a little while to see. So as soon as you see something, throw it in that comment box. I'll probably be 2, 3, 4 plays behind you. I don't know how far behind you I'll be. Okay, but as soon as you see something, throw it in that comment box. A couple other reminders. I don't have any sound on. Like I've muted this so it doesn't have any background sound for you. So I can't hear the announcers or the officials or anything. So from time to time, I'm going to be asking you questions just to kind of catch me up on what exactly is going on in the game, and then I am terrible at personnel. I know like a couple of the stud dudes or whatever, but there's going to be times where I'm going to be asking you like, who's that dude and what's his story and stuff like that. So I appreciate you filling me in on that, okay? Last thing I got to say before we get ready for kickoff, and I'll continue going through that as I take care of my giant mess here. A couple of dudes who really, really help me out with this. They do all of the legwork so I can just sit here and talk like a sausage. Those dudes are the Pack Daddy at Pack_Daddy. His name is Ryan Schlip. He does an amazing job. He runs the podcast. He's very good. He does all the legwork behind this. And then another dude who really helps me out personnel-wise, very, very smart, very quality follow, runs his own podcast as well. His name is JJ Leahy, or at JJ Leahy. So if you like this, if this is something that you like, you want to support, if you're one of the dudes or one of those people who want to go ahead and support and keep seeing this type of stuff, one way to do that is to go to patreon.com/pack_daddy. If you like to support financially, a little bit, a lot, whatever you got, I know he would certainly appreciate it. Helps him get better equipment and keep this thing pushing forward, and also helps compensate him for all the time he puts in. Because let's be honest, I mean, these two dudes put in a ton of time behind the scenes, and I get to just sit here and talk about ball. So I'm super excited about it. I'm really looking forward to this game. Support there. Otherwise, just throw in the chat, hey, Ryan, I'd love to give you some money, and I'm sure the dude will come swarming in. Okay? So it's kind of like PBS like that. Like I always thought it was funny because I grew up poor, so all we had was PBS, and every once in a while they'd have those like PBS-a-thon things. Where it's like, hey, give us some money, give us $50, and I'm like, if I had $50, I wouldn't be watching PBS. So it's kind of ironic that I'm on this side. Getting ready for kickoff here. On my screen, I have LaFleur and Rodgers hugging, so just to let you know where we're at on that. And Pam Oliver is saying some probably very insightful things that I can't hear. And we're going to get ready to roll. Bearded Buck Outdoors, let's go, boys. What's up, man? It's great to see you again. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for watching. Again, this thing is very non-committal, yo. If you want to watch the game and you want to crack a ton of Busch Lights and just have a great time and then every once in a while drop a question in, you do you. I'm not here to judge you on that. And then if you want to dip out of that, that's cool too. I did see a little bit of stuff earlier saying Cooper Kupp was out. That's a big hit. That's a big loss. To the Rams, he's what we call our M. He's the dude that they always want to get the ball into his hands. So that's going to be a big loss. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do offensively to try to help that out. So I'm getting ready for kickoff. Let's rock and roll, yo. I'm super excited for this. Special teams might be a lynch point. Maybe not now, but the special teams is going to be your downfall if you do end up losing a game. So really, really hoping that's not the case, but hoping that special teams gets fixed very quickly. So Rams coming out here right away. Number 11 seems to be taking the place of Cooper Kupp, number 10. I believe his last name is Reynolds, if I read that. Oh, there it is. Josh Reynolds. So I don't know anything about that dude. It'll be very interesting to see. The Rams love 12 personnel, man. They love it. They're hitting the flats right away. They're thinking they got something there early. Poorly thrown ball. Like, lead that dude to the sidelines. Let him take that inside-out look from that safety and see if he can break a tackle and get up the field a little bit more. So you don't want to put that on his back hip. That's no bueno. Darnell Savage and Shandon Sullivan have been just rock stars for you guys. That 39, expect to see him a lot when they have this bigger package in these 11 and 12 personnel sets, because that dude's a dog. He's just a fighter. Packers coming out very, very statically, what we thought their defense would be. A little kick action here from a wide receiver. Akers gets 3 or 4, so this is going to be interesting. It might be a little bit tough to run on this Packers defense all of a sudden, especially with the addition of Snacks Harrison. That dude can attack a snap hand on center like nobody I've seen. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun game. I really can't wait. So far, nothing exciting really from the Rams. Pretty standard personnel sets and pretty standard formations like we've seen. This is where Goff can struggle a bit when he's out of gun in a doubles look, or now they're going to motion over to trips with the H on. But this is where he struggled a bit before. It's interesting to see Jair locked up on the point man, and now they'll do a little switch action off of it. And tip ball, and that's it. I mean, that's pretty good defensive stand coming out the gates. I think the Rams might struggle to move the ball a bit today, obviously with Kupp being out and Goff and all the injuries they have. Look for a lot of wide zone, I would think, and be coming up on the second drive. Just trying to get that ball to the edge a little bit more, B-gap, C-gap type of stuff, and trying to neutralize some of the power that you have up front, and really hoping to take advantage of their speed a little bit more. So, we go. Rams are punting it off now. That's where I'm at in the game. Just got the kick away. That's a returnable one, too. Take that sucker straight up the gut, buddy. Don't stop your feet. Oh, that's Tavon, right? 16, Tavon Austin. He's kind of that newer addition. He was a lot of fun to watch at West Virginia way back in the day. I'm dating myself because I'm pretty old and gross. But, yeah, he was fun to watch. See what the Packers have queued up. They're really, really interesting to watch on their first, 2 drives, especially, because that's usually 2 to maybe 3. I don't know how they do it. But they script plays, and they try to get some identifiers. And I'll talk about that at the next break, unless something super cool happens. But the identifiers they like to use, they want to see how the Rams adjust to different formations, different motions, different sets. They use a lot of identifiers right off the bat. A lot of condensed sets, too. There's Lazard in motion. He just got a little wide zone against it. Pretty nice fill by those inside backers of the Rams. That 51 kid with a good fill to make that sucker spill back into the safety driving down to help. So that's a good little play for the Rams. I'm sure they'll take that all day. Troy Reeder, that dude's name is. You learn something every day. Now you got a trip set here, bunch tight. A little nub action with that tight end. 89 as the only receiver to that side on the line. That's nub action. No man yet from Ramsey to Devontae, and that's just layups, baby. I mean, if you're going to play that soft and off with no help to the flats, those are going to be layups. Those little speed outs, Devontae's going to make a killing on those unless you start to rob those underneath with an inside backer or an outside backer. But yeah, that's a layup. That's nice and easy. Hey, good for them. You got here 3rd and short. Really interesting what they do with personnel. That's that pony package that Goose was talking about. Oh, they did give him the first on that. My apologies. That pony package that Goose was talking about, we'll go through that here real quick. Goose is a Packer fan and a smart dude. Okay, that 20 personnel package or 2 running backs without a tight end in the game, that provides some problems, especially when you swing that dude out in motion. Now you got to lighten the box defensively, and then you got a bruiser taking that ball up the field. That's a pretty good play. Pretty good look for them. They've been really successful in that. 2nd and 1 now. This is awesome because it's a free play essentially. Another nub set. And they're just going to let this dude go eat. Oh, that's Aaron Jones. My apologies. But how about Tay coming across the formation? I mean, this Green Bay Packer offense is just so unselfish, man. You got the best receiver in the game right now coming across the formation to kick out a D end or an outside backer. That's awesome. You really got to start to appreciate Green Bay and just how very unselfish they are. So both sides of the ball. You really, I mean, Jair, we saw, obviously got the snub for All-Pro, but he's a very unselfish player too. He likes to play over the top at times and let dudes like Chandon Sullivan in that Bears game 4th and 1 come underneath and get the robber opportunities. So they're looking very, very well oiled right now. First down again, just off a little comeback route for MVS. The tough thing about MVS is you got to respect his speed, right? So your cushion gets a little bit bigger if you're playing zone. I would not be surprised to see the Rams start to hit man here really, really quick. So you can tell it's zone. Well, one of the ways you can tell is zone, and defenders can trick you, obviously. But notice 22, Hill, at the snap, his eyeballs are in the backfield. He's either reading tackle or he could be reading quarterback, whatever. If it's man coverage, he's usually got his eyes locked on the hip of the receiver. So the eyes pre-snap can help tell you a little bit, well, what's going on, excuse me. Empty. Love when they motion to empty. Empty's a whole lot of fun, but it's only 5-man pro. That dude's such a magician in the pocket. I don't even know how he got that sucker away. I can't wait to kind of break that down and see that a little bit on film. I didn't quite catch what the Rams did there defensively to get a little bit of pressure on Rodgers. Oh, here we go. That'll help. So you got 5-man protection, so it's going to have to be straight man. Oh, no, they did man slide that. That's cool. So they went ahead and went man slide on that, meaning out of 5-man pro against a 4-man rush, I'm going to go through this real quick here before that next play happens. They went ahead and slid it to the left, meaning those two dudes are on their own, and that helps out with a really, really dominant pass rusher like 99. But so far, he hasn't really made an impact that I can tell yet without breaking it down and going through it. So little man slide, one of the key things for, oh, they're going, nice, no huddle out of the exact same personnel set. That's slick. EQ, little slice route there, or super skinny post. We got a flag here. I don't know what it's for. Possibly a 12-man thing, but that's what the Packers do so well. They have so many different formations out of the same personnel set that they can go fast, right? Oh, yeah, 12 men on the field. They can go fast out of this personnel set. So if you're trying to change personnel defensively and the Packers haven't subbed, you got to go quick because he's just going to take a look at that. Just a skinny seam. I mean, that's day one install stuff. Knowing you have a free play, that's easy. Get those guys out of position a little bit with your tempo. With your no-huddle tempo, that's probably a 1 or 2 word call where Rodgers just makes that call, you snap into that formation, and you've got that play call set and ready to go. So that's awesome. 1st and goal here, baby. There's Big Bob, 85, motioning into an H-back set, kind of a wing. Oof. 91 wasn't fooled on that one, was he? Holy smokes. Again, questions, thoughts, comments, please feel free to drop them in. But my guess is you're probably not going to be super focused on questions and stuff like that, especially with the Packers and 2nd and goal in the low red zone. Would not be surprised to see a condensed formation here as well, or everybody kind of tight in, because that red zone, especially the low red zone, packs that whole box in really close. And sometimes a little bit easier. Here it is, condensed formation. Now you can go hit the edges a little bit more, or if the dude has literally all day to throw it, you can just, rare miss from Rodgers, but if that dude has that kind of time to throw it, it's going to get lethal. MVS runs a little, he's just running a drag, and Lazard's running a follow. I don't know if I'd have thrown that to Tay either. I mean, the look was there for MVS to go score, and sucker's right off his fingertips, so. As I was saying, with condensed formations in the low red zone, really makes that defense pack in, and you can hit the edges a little bit more. Straight man protection again. Gonna have to settle for a field goal on that. But that is a matchup you want to see. You want to see your Mike Backer against a really, really fast dude like Allen Lazard, who's a little bit sneaky and shifty and stuff like that. Sure, it's a win for the Rams right now, fine. Especially coming off the point. Yeah, he should have hit that one underneath a little bit quicker. So what should have happened here for, what's his number, 13, I think? And then here's that Mike Backer who's going to pick him up. When he's dragging across the field, get under that sucker quickly. If you get right to his hip and have to kind of decide where you're going to go around him, you're going to throw the timing of that way off. And I think that's what Rodgers was a little bit frustrated about. That was a no-brainer for 13. Okay? Lazard coming under 51 here, the Mike. Lazard should have just run right to his toes and under it. Instead, Lazard kind of widened that sucker out and ran to his hip and then had to adjust the route, and it's going to throw the timing off. And as soon as he has to adjust that route, well, then 51 can come with it and play some really good coverage. So, without a doubt, Rodgers should be mad at 13 because he left 4 points on the field. 51 here, 13 here at the point, run right to his toes and right under it. Go be the athlete, okay? Go be faster than that dude. There's a reason you play here and he plays here, right? Go be faster than him, run right to his toes and right under him. So that's not a great look from Allen Lazard, but that's all right. Packers still got points on it. Moved the ball with relative ease with some of their scripted plays. Really impressed with that pony package coming out early. Here and here out of 20 personnel. 20 means 2 running backs, 0 tight ends. Okay? So you got this look early, and what's going to happen is pretty soon the Rams are going to have to respect that 20 personnel package is really sweet too, because you can get them in their forefront because you don't have a tight end on the field. It's not 11 personnel, right? So they like to be like this when it's against 10 personnel. And if you swing that sucker out, somebody's got to respect it. Usually that outside backer has to be looking flats first, which takes another dude out of the box. Now when you start to run anything you want to do, you want to run wide zone or inside zone. I believe that one was inside zone. I'd have to go back and take a look at it. Well, now your count looks pretty darn good here, right? You can leave that dude alone because he's going to be in all sorts of conflict, and you can take that sucker down. Now you've got that, you've got that, you've got that, and a path up to the Sam or the path up to the Mike, especially if this H is number 28, that hard-running A.J. Dillon dude. Like, there's times where, yeah, you're not going to actually pick up this Mike with that backside tackle on the angle. You might not. So A.J. Dillon may have to run right into his esophagus, right into his breastplate, and go pick up his 8 yards or whatever it is. So that's a nasty little package. Pretty soon, my guess is, what you're going to start seeing is this if they keep running this sort of stuff, this outside backer is going to have to fold in and go +1 in the box to try to kill that and stop that run a little bit. The second that Rodgers sees this, he's going to RPO it and hit the swing. We saw this a ton against the Bears. The second this dude gets greedy and has to come in, that's a sweet little RPO pass to the flats, and you're just stealing yards either here for 5, 6, 8, or here for 8, 10, 12. Okay, so really nice little adjustment by them in that pony package, 20 personnel. The thing that makes the Packers so difficult on offense is their ability to tempo. They don't always go fast, but they always have the ability to go fast. So if they catch you subbing and they haven't subbed yet, they know, offensively they just snap to a 1-word count. It could be like, let's call it like Ringo or something, okay? Whatever, just arbitrary. You run out, you hear Ringo, Ringo, Ringo. You get set in that exact formation. You wait 1 second, and then you go snap the ball and run that play. That's dynamic, you know, you're probably getting a free one off of that. That was a weird looking kickoff. That's a short. Excuse me. Let's see how the Rams come out and adjust on this. Knowing that they're probably getting that 3 front, which looks like a 5 front. And anytime that they have their heavy personnel set, which is what you have here. 3 down linemen, 2 outside backers up controlling the edges when they're in heavy personnel. Pretty basic 3-4 look. Very interested to see how the Rams will attack it. This is going to be wide zone, and he's checked it off to the left. It was supposed to go to the right to the nub end, or to the left, excuse me, to the offense's left. And they're going to run it right. He checked that sucker off because he didn't like the alignment. I think because he didn't like the alignment of the inside backers. So right here, this is supposed to go to 89 side. He checked it off. That's what this is. And then he went right with it, just assuming that they could get that edge cut down. So now the Packers go with a little bit of an adjustment here. They're in an under front, where they're going to bump that entire D-line one way, and big, long, naked play action. That's a heck of a catch by 17. Whoo, baby. But that's the way you got to play action, especially off of wide zone. You've got to get in the quarterback's grill really, really quickly. Gary did a nice job there. I mean, if Goff is going to complete Tim Tebow-esque jump passes where he's just, I mean, that looked more like a shot put than anything. Cool. Tip your hat to him. This is interesting. They're empty now. I've always thought it was interesting how they ran empty and then eventually brought that running back in, but kept him as an H-backer up close to the line for max pass pro. You're probably going to want to cover that dude, though. That's definitely a break of coverage. Goff did it. I don't know if I'm pretty sure that wasn't a design look off. I'm pretty sure he had to go through his progressions there. But he did a nice job of staring down the boundary, moved that safety with his eyes and his shoulder alignment, and then hit the little skinny post coming in behind it from Reynolds. My apologies, I haven't been looking at anything here. Travis is here. Travis wants a go Pack go. I'm not a Packer fan, but I got a lot of friends who are Packers, and I want to see this offense keep rolling. So you know what, Travis? Just for you, I'm going to give you a go Pack go, okay? Another little soft spot in that zone, a little breaker route there where he intentionally, watch 17 intentionally throttle down. If he runs this route hard, he's going to take it right to the toes of the safety. So he throttles down and kind of sits in that soft spot underneath the safety, but on top of the inside linebacker. That's a good route by a veteran wide receiver. So we got a good one brewing here, friends. This is going to be a good time. I forgot what I was going to show you. I had something kind of queued up for this commercial break, and then in typical Hawn fashion, I forgot what it was. But, oh, here, yes, I remember now. So let's say the Rams are in blue and the Packers are in green now. Excuse me. This is the way they like to run wide zone. Okay? They love to run it to the weak side. Weak meaning the side with less dudes on it. Okay? So the way they had wide zone initially set up, when they checked out of it, was like this, and they were going to run it to the weak side, knowing that they've got an overhang backer here. They had a 4-tech, a nose, and a 4-tech, so those 3 down linemen. They had an overhang backer, but the Packers went what's called boss, or excuse me, not boss, bow, backers over weak, knowing that the Rams love to run that sucker weak. Probably scouted that up quite a bit, as they went ahead and bumped their backers like this, their 2 inside linebackers, went ahead and bumped them a little bit to the weak side, and then had their safety hanging out kind of not in no man's land per se, but this way, or excuse me, that's not a good drawing, here and here, so that he could still be an alley filler to the strong side should they run it that way, okay? And then here, this is really going to screw up wide zone's count if they want to run it weak, right? Because you're thinking you're going to get the hook on the nose, you're thinking you're going to get the hook on the 4-tech, and you're thinking, hopefully, you can get either the hook or the drive block on the buck backer, but now what does this guard do? You try to fire right up here, well then this is going to be absolutely impossible to get to that safety. That's why Goff did this and checked it out. That's why he moved this sucker and flipped it to go strong side, because he saw backers over weak, right? So now he's thinking he's got this type of look, which now that's a much better path for everyone as these dudes flow here, and then you can seal on the backside or whatever you want to do on the backside, and then you can get that little stalk to crack. And then as you come out of this sucker here, now you go hit here to here. And that's exactly what they did. With a pretty good chop down block from that tight end, I believe that's 81. if memory serves me correctly. So nice little adjustment there by Goff on wide zone, knowing they'd love to run it weak, but pushing that sucker strong when he saw bow or backers over weak. So good adjustment by Goff. Tip your hat to him. That's going to keep the Packers a little bit more honest in the way that they align for wide zone. So game's back on. I'm going to erase my mess here and get back to it. That's such good flow by 51. I like watching that kid play football, man. '51's a rookie, I believe, right? 58 is the older of the linebackers. I think 51's a rookie, 58 is a little bit older, and then the other dude is 54, who might also be a rookie. Somebody help me out on this. I don't know personnel at all. But this 51 is a rookie. He's a missile. Like, he loves to fill. Kind of an interesting look there from the Rams. I don't know what Green Bay's thought process was there, but usually they put 39 away from the tight end. He might have been away from the tight end. I might have missed it there. They usually like to keep that 39 Sullivan kid away from the tight ends, thinking that if it's going to be play action with any of that slice stuff, and I'll show you in the next commercial break, but play action with any of that slice or split zone stuff, that he can go ahead and take the flats, and he's shown, especially in that Bears game, that he's aggressive enough to take a tight end in the flats. So pretty nice little drive they got going here, the Rams do. That looked like inside zone, and that's a heck of a stop. I hope they show the replay on that, because I want to see who set that edge and bounced that sucker back in to all the help. Preston Smith did it, huh? Oh, this is wide zone. You can tell by the shoulder alignment. Preston Smith with a great edge. Nice. Hey, good for him. There's Preston setting that edge. You can't get outside, which means you got to get back inside. And inside is where all the really mean dudes are. Looks like the Rams are going to go for it. Rizvo! Welcome to the chat, buddy. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Throw any questions or comments in. Now, see the ref running in like that? When the ref runs in like that and stops the play from happening, that means that they cannot snap the ball because the offense is substituted, and you've got to give the defense an opportunity to substitute when the offense does. This is what makes the Packers so very good, is they'll go ahead and use the same personnel sets and have all these different formations, and they'll never sub dudes out, or very rarely sub dudes out offensively. That means the defense is on the field a long time, and you can't adjust to all these different formations. LaFleur is obviously very angry at that official. I don't know what about. I didn't see that. If somebody can kind of catch me up on that a little bit later, I would certainly appreciate it, because, again, I don't have sound on. Oh, it looks like they reset the play clock. A late substitution by the Rams. They wouldn't let them snap the ball because Green Bay had to have a chance to counter. And they reset the play clock. I don't know what went on there. But very, very interesting fourth down here. Surprising. Very aggressive by the Rams to not go for the ties thus far, that they're going to go for this early. Oh, that was a messy snap. Yeah, that was definitely a false start. Now you got to kick the field goal. Looked like they wanted to go on first down, but some of the dudes didn't get the call. Man, how do you come out of that much dead time where the official stopped play to reset the play clock, and you have that look? Looks like you're going on first down here for sure. Yikes! Yeah, that's a false start without a doubt. That might be on the center. It looked like it was on the center. It looked like it was the center's fault there. It looked like it was supposed to be on first down, and the center just kind of forgot what sound was. Field goal attempt here to tie it up. I should have been thinking, shoot, I want to take the field goal too. How the Packers protect field goal, because I have this sneaking suspicion that the Packers are going to get a field goal blocked on them again, just like that Tennessee setup. So let's take a look at the Packers field goal set right now. When the Packers kick a field goal, they usually kick from a hash, field goal, extra point, whatever. They usually kick from a hash. and they usually have a wing here, not a quarterback, a holder, and a kicker, right? So that's usually what it ends up looking like for Green Bay. What teams really like to do, lately anyways, and what Tennessee did really well, was go ahead and overload the side, the wide side of the field, okay? So if they're kicking from this hash, they'll overload it over here with 6. So you can use that type of setup and then only have 4 on the backside here. So usually what happens when you see an overload is you cut this side down. You just move this dude in here, keep a wing here, and put another dude over here. You can run unbalanced, okay? Now you've got all these gaps accounted for. Now you can let this dude run that really, really long edge because he ain't going to get there in time, okay? I haven't seen the Packers overload anything yet, and we saw in the Tennessee game when they weren't overloaded that they had some crossface action here, here, and here, and this crossface never got picked up because you had to go here, you had to go here, you had to go here, or make the decision to come back on it, which I would do is I'd come back and protect inside, make it run long edge, okay, and then come down here and leave that end completely untouched. But this dude just crossed face and was able to get a hand on it. Thankfully for the Packers, that dude had initially lined up offside. I think it was the Tennessee game. Am I tripping? Y'all remember that? Was that the Tennessee game that they got an offsides call on a blocked field goal? But yeah, I'm thinking if they don't adjust that, if they don't start going unbalanced or bringing somebody extra over on any of that overload stuff, they could end up getting one blocked. Excuse me here, just a second. I'm blowing up and I want to make sure it's nothing important. All right. Mark is here. If the D shifts, you could be in trouble though. Can you kind of take me through what you mean there, Mark? My apologies. I don't remember or maybe didn't catch what you are referencing. If the D shifts, you could be in trouble though. I'm interested in that. I like hearing it. I just want to know what you're referencing there. I think I know what you're referencing, and let me know if I'm wrong here, but on that 4th down play, when they had this look for Green Bay, and then they packed it in obviously here, here, and here, and they had a no shift right here. If that's what you're referencing, Mark, you're absolutely right, because that sucker can be nasty if you shift in 4th and short type of stuff. It's a good way to trick that offensive line, get them thinking that snap occurred. Oh, if you overload one side, yeah, on the field goal, yeah. Oh no, you're definitely right. If that defense shifts and you're overloaded, yeah, you're right. Then if I'm a holder, I call timeout or just auto adjust to everybody inside and hope you don't come skinny side. You're absolutely right. But the nice thing about that, Mark, is the long snapper in field goal is a protected man. Okay, so you can't touch him until his head is up. Here, holder, kicker. So if the defense is overloaded, just like you said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the edge rusher here, we'll call him corner 6, and they want to go ahead and shift, he can't come right up, head up over the long snapper. It's got to be a really, really, really long shift all the way over to here. Okay, so he can't be over the head of the long snapper, otherwise it's a penalty. I think it's actually unsportsmanlike conduct, so a big penalty. So good point. They certainly could shift, and you would be down a man on that side if you're unbalanced, but it would have to be a long shift for him. I missed that play. I don't know what happened there. My apologies. I was all excited about the whiteboard. A lot of condensed sets from Green Bay. Holy smokes. Look at that little double back action. You had MVS cross the formation and jet, and then you had 49, that Daphne kid, come across and kick. That was a nice little play. You ended up with 2 dudes moving backside against zone, really getting those edges, those backside edges in conflict. That was a slick little play. I want to remember that one. Dual back out of zone. I'm gonna just write that up here so I remember. Zone, dual, back. I like that. We'll go back to that one. The Packers are just so smart, man. 11 personnel again. Now you're just going to hammer that sucker home. Dude, this kid runs hard too. I would love to see some trap and some power with number 30 and number 28 coming up here, man. Some gap runs where you can just get downhill violently. Now, that's not what we saw here. This is obviously inside zone, but that dude is just tough. Look at the way he skinnies that sucker up. Now, imagine if that was short trap out of a spread formation, right? Where you just pull a backside guard and feed him through. Whew! This kid could be nasty if you get into some gap stuff coming up. Really, really condensed sets and then play action out of it. That's just layups, man. That is just layups. Long action to the weak side, wide zone play action. And you just got that tight end who funnels, okay? So you got a tight end and a wing and an M, okay? These guys funnel. This dude just funnels and then hits the flats. Like he's going to have outside leverage against that corner if that corner is coming down to set the edge. That's great. Or that outside backer, whoever's on that strong side setting that edge. That's a great play. All the flow is taking that outside backer one way, and you just kick him back the other. Man, that dude runs tough too, doesn't he? Look at that big bending path he had to take to get to the backside of zone on that one. That's a pretty dang good read. All the flow is going to the right in wide zone. He's like, nope, that's all closed up. And he just bangs that sucker back, knowing that 94 is in conflict here. Turner's going to want to get his hands inside on the breastplate on that, especially if he's starting to run zone. You don't want to get that backside hand out wide. That's how you end up with a hold, because you have no idea where that running back's going. So if he cuts against the grain like that and that hand is outside, that backside hand is outside, that's going to end up being a hold. You got to be careful on that. Layups again. I mean, they're just so good at staying ahead of the chains. Big Bob, Roberto Grande, he's a little fired up. Oh, I got away from the comments again. Mark says, nice cut. I agree, Mark. That is a good-looking cut off a wide zone from A.J. Dillon. You got to make sure you get that backside hand. While that backside hand should be high on that zone stuff for Billy Turner, he had it in the right place. He's just a little too outside. Want to see that sucker up more around like the pec area, so that if that defender does start to reverse course to take care of that cut, it doesn't end up being a hold. You see that a lot. Some toss action here. Oof. A heck of a fill. Was that kid's knee down? I don't know. That was a heck of a fill by a safety if he could have completed the tackle, but Jones with a little tough run in himself. That's awesome. Good to see there. That's kind of been the knock on him, is he's not always the toughest runner, but that was hard. Packers, of course, going to go fast here before anybody can take a look at that and see if his knee was down, or at least give the illusion they're going fast. Man, they'd be a nightmare to scheme against defensively. They're so multiple. What happened here? I didn't quite say. Oh, he took it down to the quarter. I was as confused as the defense was. Like, what's going on? So let me show you that zone dual back look that the Packers ran that I thought was really cool. Okay? This is the formation they had. I forget who was on point. Maybe it was 83 went in motion. Maybe it was 13 or 17. Doesn't really matter who was on point here. Condensed set, so it's trips bunched tight. Okay? You had 83 here and 49 here. And then over here, maybe that was 13. I forget who was sealing it. Maybe it was a tight end. I don't remember exactly how it looked. But what the Packers did was ran zone left, wide zone left. But before the snap, they threw 83 in motion. Okay, and that's going to have to widen this backer out just a bit to respect that motion. And then at the snap, they can go ahead and block that. They kicked this guy back. So any of that backflowing action that you might have had from, let's say, the Mike backer kind of flowing around, or this defensive end for the Rams flowing around, he's going to get kicked here. So not only have you taken that backside outside backer out of the play, you've also taken out the backside C-gap player. Whether that's going to be a Mike if the 4 crashes like this, or whatever that is. And then, that's a pretty easy read for that tailback, right? He gets here, and can bend that sucker right up in there. So that's a sweet looking play. I can't remember actually seeing that specific play before, where they actually snap the ball with jet motion and then bring another dude back against the grain. That's a cool little design. I enjoy that. Back Daddy says, Coach, I missed it, but what did you see on those 2 big passes from the Rams? Ryan. The one that I really remember is 17 here, Robert Woods, throttling his route down. So he had kind of a skinny post on the backside, and he throttled it down in between the middle backer and the Hawk safety. If he'd have run this sucker hard, when Robert Woods caught that, if he'd have run it hard, he'd have run it right to the toes of the safety and given him the opportunity to go ahead and make a play on the ball. But because he read it as zone, knowing that there's going to be a natural hole here and here, okay, he throttled that sucker down a bit and kind of curled that skinny post right in here, and Goff was able to hit that completion there. On the completion to Reynolds, number 11, and I'm going to try to remember back as far as I can, so we did talk about zone dual back. On that, excuse me, on that completion to 11, that Reynolds kid, it looked like a progression read from Goff, which is actually kind of nice, but for the Rams anyways, because I know they don't always trust Goff to make his progression reads, but it looked like he was staring, oh, that's 17, looked like he was staring this one down. I don't know what the route was there, but then as this skinny post, or just kind of COL, come open late, whatever you want to call it, because he was staring this sucker down, he was able to move that safety, the backside safety, with his eyes, okay, and his shoulders, because he's just looking. And then he had to make a progression read and juice that ball back there, and the safety was able to redirect and make the play on 11, but not in time. Look at that dude, just pounding Coors Lights without a shirt on. What a man. This eraser's going nuts. Man, they just love running zone, don't they? I'm pretty sure, though, if Jones does move on, and you guys are a lot smarter than me when it comes to like salary cap and personnel and stuff like that, but if Jones has to move on just for money reasons, the Packers are going to become a little bit more of a gap team. A couple of real tough runners in 28 and 30. You are drawing it upside down. Oh, look at that. So, folks watching, Brian H3413 is most certainly my defensive coordinator, and he thinks I draw everything upside down because I actually draw it the right way. So, thank you for that, Brian H. Appreciate you. Coach, can you explain why they'd have Preston, aka our DN, covering the slot? Yeah, absolutely. Here's why. Preston's not a DN. I know he wears number 91, okay, but he's not a DN. Your DNs are usually 4 techs, maybe 4 eyes, depending on their alignment. They can go over, under, okay? Preston's an outside linebacker. This could be 91, this could be 55, could also be that 52 kid. Okay, as they align, they're outside linebackers. So depending on the coverage call, he's not a defensive end. He can be an edge rusher and all that sort of stuff, claim him how you want, but if you get a spread formation, depending on your coverage call, this dude has to align here and take the flats, right? 91's got to go take the flats if you're in any sort of quarters look or spitter cover 3 or whatever it is. So he's got to cover the slot out here. Okay, he's got to make sure he gets that taken care of. Let's just say you are in a quarters look if you are Green Bay, okay, and you got these guys bailing off and they're taking deep, like there's nobody left to cover the flats, right? So you got to have your, you got to have your outside backer cover the flats. That's why he's in the slot, and sometimes you see, I remember back in the Vikings game, what was it, week 8 or something like that, you saw him way out wide with Kyle Rudolph, and he kind of looked like a corner way out there towards the boundary of the field. That's why, I mean, if you're in man coverage, that outside backer has to take the tight end. So if that tight end goes way out to the boundary, you're going to see an outside backer. It's kind of funny because dude's wearing 91, but you're going to see him way out there covering him in man. It's because he's actually, in this defense, an outside linebacker. Good question, though, dude. True Brew Steve says, well, this is just the greatest thing. Oh, thanks, Steve. Appreciate you. Thanks for swinging by. This is just fun. I love talking ball. I got a lot of Packer fans, I got a lot of friends who are Packer fans, and that's a lie. I don't have a lot of friends, but the few friends I do have are Packer fans, and it's just fun to break down the Packers with them. I'm not a Packer fan, but it's fun to watch this offense. I'll tell you that much. These dudes are nasty. Brian H3413 is most certainly wrong, though. I am drawing all of these the right way. He is the one who is wrong. Lazard on a little stop route there, man. That's nasty. Now, you're in the low red zone again. Expect a lot of man coverage from the Rams. Okay? Expect man coverage and pressure. That's why the Packers are in 11 personnel here with condensed sets. Man on the point for sure. Alan Lazard is the point. Now they're going to go to a little bit of a zone bump. You're definitely not going to keep an inside linebacker on 17. Great fill there from number 22, that corner. That thing had a chance to bust. I wonder what happened on that backside route. I think that backside receiver was supposed to run 22 off. 22 with a great fill, because otherwise that sucker was a touchdown. Hey, what happened with that Aaron Donald thing and the flag and everything we saw just recently? Like, somebody kind of fill me in on that, because I was kind of between the whiteboard and this, and I didn't get to see that. But if somebody could fill me in on that. Hey, nub tight end to the boundary again. That's Mercedes. Now you're going to bring Tay over in motion. Again, zone coverage. They're shying away from man. He's close. How about Corey Lindsley? Like, man, that dude is just a stud. He's rolling people. Watch this. Zone left. He's going to stutter his feet. Patrick with a great overtake, and Lindsley's going to get up to that backside inside backer, 51. That is the way it's supposed to look. That's gorgeous. And Lindsley just over here blocking too. Just being a big dude getting in the way. Love it. Love it. I'm here for it, man. I love offensive linemen. What do you do here? You attack the edge? Condensed set like this? A little speed toss? Now it's man. Now you got man. That's it. I called that. I called that. This is what I showed you guys here early pregame, baby. This is it, man. I'm getting too fired up. That's a touchdown. I need to relax. It's certainly early. But this is what I called, right? I showed you all this pregame. If you're going to have 20 locked on 17, and 17 is the motion, man, 20's got to run through all this crap to get to the flats. That's a layup, baby. Look at that. 20. And, man, look at all the crap he has to run through. He's got to run way faster than Devontae. Get through all of it. It's layups. Oh, they're so good. Oh, it's so fun. I love it. Hoo-wee! Man, y'all catch me slipping sometimes. Whew. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. That's something that we had been talking about for a while. And my thought was the very first time that they saw man coverage, as it was a nominal down and distance thing. So not third and long, maybe a third and medium, but definitely a second and short, first and 10 type of thing, a nominal down and distance, or third and goal from the friggin' one. Get Tay in motion. That dude's going to have to run around all these cats, right? So he's lost the angle. Put Tay in speed motion, snap it there. I mean, it's a layup. It's great stuff from Green Bay. Love to see it. You love to see it. Pack Daddy's razzing me because I get fired up. Yeah, I get a little juiced, and it might have something to do with this, but that's an energy drink. It's not a beer, I promise. Okay? It might have something to do with the energy drinks, but sometimes it's just really good offensive football. And that's what you saw there. It's just really good offensive football. I love that they ran it back to the nub tight end look, too. So, I don't remember the exact formation here, but my guess is you had to have a point man. My guess is this was 17. I'm not exactly sure. And this could be any cat you want it to be. I don't care who it is. And then this is 89 here, okay? That nub tight end. So when you run this motion back against that nub tight end, then the really nice thing is they made sure they froze all of this stuff backside by bringing that little play action, and it wasn't even play action. Rodgers just caught the snap, and the tailback ducked in front of him. But you made sure nobody had the ability backside to get nosy, okay? So if you got your outside backer stacked here because they have man coverage, they made sure that they really protected that by making that backside backer respect the fact that he can run the football. Then when the corner number 20 has to come around all this mess, you've got all of that. Okay? It's the old saying of basketball on grass. Just get space. Just get space. Get the athlete the ball in space. And you've got a really good quarterback who can do it. You got a really smart receiver. You got a good head coach. You're probably losing your OC to a head job. My apologies. I know that's not what you want to hear in a playoff game, but that dude's pretty smart too. JJ says, seeing a good amount of nub, like you said. We just drew it up. I love it. They're smart, man. They're really smart. Thoughts on extra point formation? JJ Leahy, my dude. Yeah, that's JJ. Follow him because he's super smart. Oh, here it is again. Dude, JJ, I'm going to get to your question in just a second. Okay? They're going to run some check and then run it back against the nub. Oh, I had my formation flipped, but that's fine. Same thought process there. You had to just protect that side. Jalen, yeah, you can get mad, but what you going to do? You're in man, bro. Like, you got to get around all that crap. It ain't. I mean, he can be mad, but okay. Like, get mad at your DC or whatever. Bad decisions feel bad. Don't get mad at anybody else. It's not their fault. They're just running the call. You're a little bit late, JJ. We went through God, this is gorgeous. I'm sorry, I'm watching play action again. When you start to spread that sucker out, because you got to respect their play action, that's just nasty. We went through the extra point formation. My thoughts is I would love to go unbalanced through the field. I'd like to bring that backside guard over and get that 5-man surface to the field on extra point and field goal. Mark had a great point. If the defense shifts, you are going to be down a man. But again, it's a long shift because that long snapper is a protected player. You can't align head up on him. So it would have to be a long shift for him. A little wide zone toss, and the Rams run this a lot where they'll actually lead it with their motion man. 81 in that case. You got to be careful of your Green Bay to not funnel down to that motion and guess that it's wide zone, because the second they see that, they'll run that fake toss play action stuff, and Goff will pivot his hips, and you're going to be down a man if you're hammering too hard on that. Oh, my bad. Jared Whitlow. I thought they had Tay man-to-man 2 plays before, and he was on a linebacker. Layups. Certainly possible, dude. I mean, if you're going to play a linebacker one-on-one, you might as well be Ohio State versus Alabama in the championship game. Like, it's just not going to work. You can be the best linebacker in the world. Take your very favorite linebacker of all time and put him man-to-man with Tay. It's just not going to work out for you. Terrible mesh by Goff in the tailback. That must have been the old FTF play, or forget the fake. On any of that play action stuff, because nobody was fooled on that one. But yeah, I'm with you, Jared. I mean, if you're going to play man-to-man on Tay with a linebacker, it just ain't going to work. What was that? That was a total miscommunication. If that was man slide, then that left tackle busted. If that was man, then the left guard busted. Somebody busted on that protection scheme, and that was just an inside dive to the quarterback. That was easy. Like, they don't usually come like that. 3rd and long, this is where the Packers will go to a 3-man, sometimes 4-man rush and try to get some robber coverage underneath it, where they'll play too high and they'll try to get somebody to rob under routes. And this is where things get fun for the defense. Bam! You're dead. Whew. Yeah, that ain't going to work. My apologies. I got away from the comments again. True Brew Steve, what does that touchdown play set up for next time we get in the same situation, man? First of all, if you see man coverage, if you get into a situation 3rd and short again and you still see man coverage, run it again and again and again. Make that defense stop, because if they're going to run man coverage in short yardage situations, you can put Tay in motions. You're just taking, as Jared said, those layups, right? So usually what that's going to do is force a zone coverage on you. Teams like to try to play man to get an extra man in the box so that they can protect the run. So then they're going to play zone. Well, sweet. Go have fun and run the football, baby. Tay with the punt return. Hey, 86, don't run at your dude. That's no bueno, unless he was hitting the back illegally or something like that. I didn't see that. But good question, True Blue Steve. What does that set up? Usually it's gonna make them play some zone, and then you can run the football. Jared said, yeah, they ended up running it instead. That's not great. I mean, if you get Tay one-on-one with a linebacker, you should probably take that. Unless it was some sort of trap or bracket, like the Panthers ran really well on Tay. And I'll show you that in just a minute. Probably at the next situation we have, like next dead ball. I want to show you bracket on Tay. So I'm going to write that down here so I remember it. But if you got man coverage with a linebacker on Tay, usually what he's going to do is try to take the under and protect over the top of the safety. So good question. Keep them coming. I love it. You guys are really smart. I like it. Okay, dead ball here. So I'm going to show you what bracket coverage is. And there's a lot of different ways to run it. Carolina ran it really well against Devontae Adams when Green Bay played them. So let's just say we got 17 on point here, and let's say it's a condensed formation like we've been seeing a lot of out of Green Bay. So this could be 83 here, and just for fun's sake, let's say this is 13, I don't care, 19. You probably got a tight end in there somewhere. I don't know, okay? It's just a made-up formation. If you've got 51, that inside linebacker, and he's playing man on Devontae Adams, usually what you're going to have then is either a corner or a stacked safety, or a stacked corner or a safety, or somebody is going to have the over-the-top help. That way, 51 doesn't have to run with 17. He can just stay under him. So if 17 runs a little snag, he can play under, knowing he's got help over the top, okay? Knowing if he misses that somehow and Tay catches it, that it's probably not just an automatic touchdown. what Carolina did that I thought was very bold, I guess. But Green Bay would try to set 17 out a little bit wider, and then they put an H on. So 17 has to be off the line here, my apologies. An H or a tight end. And Carolina would have an outside backer here, and this would set Carolina in a very similar formation that Green Bay would get in, and then whatever else you want going on backside. And then they'd have a corner over the top here, and they could play with their safety, whatever they wanted to do there. But Carolina would literally bail this dude to the flats as fast as humanly possible and make a Mike or a Sam or an inside backer, whatever, cover that tight end. And what that does is bracket Tay. So now he can play soft over the top. He's just playing don't get beat deep, and this dude is just flying out to rob any of that under stuff, okay? So Green Bay's counter to that, especially in the Carolina game, was try to get the ball to Tay quick, okay? Just literally catch that snap, turn and throw, okay? Try to get this sucker to him quick, but as soon as that corner sees that, he can bail and he can take the outside. And he's allowed, he doesn't have to tackle Tay one-on-one because he knows he's got that outside backer flowing here to take away any of the inside stuff. Then they can box and cage this and get a 2-on-1 tackle. If it's Tay versus a corner, Tay might juke him, might break that tackle, whatever, okay? But knowing he has help inside, he can stay to the top and outside, funnel him back into that flow. And that's what Carolina did really well to take Tay away. So if it was man coverage on a linebacker, my guess is, woo! Attaboy 86. Probably shouldn't have hit him that second time. But if it was man coverage with a linebacker on Tay, my guess is there was help over the top and he was just playing some sort of robber type of stuff. Good question, Jared. JJ, thoughts on why Ramsey was mad at his coach on the Devontae touchdown? Yeah, I have some thoughts. I have some insight. My guess is he doesn't want to be in man coverage on the goal line having to run with motion. Look at Daphne 49 split out wide. Just a block for Tay. That's great rally by 51 and 58. Okay, so kind of what we were talking about here a little bit, where 51 could take that inside path, knowing that he's got help to the outside. Try to get as many human beings as you can on Tay. God, I can't wait to watch this end zone film. They're showing replays of Donald not being a factor right now. I cannot wait to watch this end zone film. I think the O-line has a little magnum opus thing coming. Oh, that's what the flag was for old Aaron Donald. He getting mad at Jenkins. Jenkins a dude. Jenkins a dog, man. If that guy can actually get into some little bit more rhythmic pass pro when he's actually in man pass protection, that dude is going to be just a world beater. How about that long slide for the Green Bay O-line? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. That's good stuff. What a big, deep slide for that Green Bay O-line. Full slide to the left. And if that dude comes hot off the edge where the tailback is supposed to be, just throw it to the tailback. There's nobody left to cover it. You're out of dudes, LA. Look at that. What a slide. Rick Wagner keeping that dude on the inside shoulder. Man, that's gorgeous. Full slide left. That's beautiful. Beautiful stuff. JJ, he went over to his DB coach quickly, and commentators thought he looked mad too. Yeah. I would be mad if I had to cover Tay man-to-man on the goal line and dudes in motion and we don't have a check for it. I agree. I would be mad too because you're beat by alignment. I mean, you can't win that. You're just automatically beat. Look at this pass pro. Good God, Corey Lindsley. What a man. 63 for president, yo. Billy Turner, Corey Lindsley, 2024 or whatever it is, I'd vote for them. He mad though. My guess is Tunyon ran the wrong option route. We talked a little bit about option routes yesterday. Actually, I'm going to put that on the board for those of you interested for the next dead ball we have. My guess is Tunyon ran the wrong option route. So let's talk about those. Next dead ball we get. Packers on the move again here, though. I mean, a couple more scores. This thing could get ugly quick. Stealing yards. You give them off coverage. I mean, just staying ahead of the chains. They're so content to do that. I love that too because even it's like an under center RPO where the offensive line has no idea you're throwing the ball. Rodgers just sees that corner off and 10 yards looking in, knows it's soft zone coverage to that side. Just throw it to him quick. It's a quick little hand signal. You know, just whatever. Make sure dude got the signal. O-line literally has no idea you're throwing the football. And there is no better way to get an excellent play action look or whatever than to not tell the O-line that you're throwing the football because they think you're running. So those inside linebackers are screwed, man. They are coming downhill in a hurry because every key read that they have says, yo, this is a run, right? Like we're running the ball. Ooh, that hurts. There's no better play action than not letting the O-line know that you're actually going to throw it. That's dirty. Oh, my bad. I'm getting away from the comments here again. My apologies. Helly says, Jenkins is dominating Donald. Can you talk about why he's so good and how he's completely shutting down the all-world player in Donald? I love it, Helly. Yeah, let's talk about that too in a little bit. Some of it has to do with scheme. Some of it has to do with the fact that your left guard, A, can play everywhere on the O-line. B, very, very intelligent human being. Also, C, he huge. You might get a hold on that. I don't know if a flag came in or not. Yeah, shoot. Big Bob Tunyon got ripped across his face by that defender and decided that the defender was not allowed to get to the edge, so he held him. That's no bueno. Next dead ball, we're going to talk about that stuff. Good question, Helly. I love it. MVS got sticky fingers today. Dude's talented. I mean, it's a concentration issue. Look at this rip across the face here, and then he say, no, no. Like, that's a hold all day. Get those hands inside. Play side hand low, backside hand high, and you're not going to hold, right? JJ says, MVS day today. Got to have dudes step up to win it. I'm with you, JJ. I've always liked MVS. I know you guys got mad at the drops, and it's a concentration thing. Definitely not an effort thing. Because, man, all the film you watch of the Packers, watch him run dudes off on the backside of runs. I mean, you would have no idea that that's not actually a route that he's running. I mean, dude is just 100 miles an hour. He's a high effort player. My guess is that's why he's still on the roster. All the drops are forgiven to a certain degree if that dude is going to go ahead and run that stuff. Don't give Tay inside leverage on a slant, Ramsey. There's no outside. Where was the outside backer in that? Did he lose to the mesh? Because that's definitely zone coverage. He had inside leverage on the slant. Ramsey's just, no, he's got outside leverage. He's funneling him, and man, he got juked. So he's playing funnel man where he's trying to direct him to 33, the safety, and Devontae's just got slick feet, man. Slick feet. His releases are so good off the line. He ain't about it right now. You're seeing full playoff mode Devontae. Dude's a dog. Love it. Jenkins, what a road grader. Corey Lindsley. Guys, you are so spoiled to have this offensive line. Reminder, and I know you know this isn't even your best offensive line. If Turner's at right guard and Bakhtiari's in, this game might be 41-3 already. That's being facetious, of course, but whatever. Jared said separation in Tay and Ramsey. Yeah, I mean, just absolutely. Outside man leverage, playing him, I believe, Coach Hellenbrand, Helly, or Brian 3413, whatever your name is, if you could kind of let me know when you're outside man coverage, are you man only deep and you're kind of funneling into the outside backer and safety look there, or is it still an MEG man everywhere he goes type of look? Hell, if you're still around, if you can throw that in the comments, because he's a little smarter than me on coverage. Well, a lot smarter than me on coverages. Okay, let's take a look at options routes really quick while we got a break. This is what Rodgers is mad about. I don't know the exact route that was supposed to be run by 85 here, but you saw him getting mad a little bit ago when he had to throw backside through the progression to Tay. Option routes are dope. They're really, really, really tough to defend, especially if you understand the defense's rules. So there's an acronym called CAP, C-A-P, Coverage, Alignment, Personnel, okay? So there's capped, uncapped rules, and every team runs them a little bit differently and stuff like that. But essentially it's saying, if you've got a dude head up on you, or let's just say, for this sake, let's just say Tunyon's got a man head up on him, it makes no sense to try to run through that dude and go on your route, okay? So you can cap it or you can break it off. If this dude is aligned inside and deep, obviously makes no sense to run a post right at him, right? You're going to take the ball to him. Okay, plays back on. I'll get to you in a minute. Nub set again, JJ. Nub set. They're just moving the ball at will. Yo, Lucas Patrick is having a sneaky good day, too, 62. Look at the tempo they can run at, man. Never allowing that defense to sub. Always keeping their dudes on the field and then getting personnel mismatches when they want them. Man, I'd love to see the Rams try to come back in man coverage here. That's man, but he's got help now. Man help, yep. That's a good adjustment by LA. Tavon Austin's in the game. Look at that, little number 16. He's fast. Look at that. Literally didn't block the Mike Backer. You literally didn't block number 51. Dude still got 3 yards. Like, that's the trust they have in number 30. You literally didn't block him. Ooh, are you probably can't grab the face mask there, Billy. That's all right. Sometimes we can cheat too. Just ask when Brian3413 comes back into the chat. Somebody ask him about defensive holding on the D line. He's the worst. We got man coverage again here, but my guess is any motion from Tay, and they're going to bump that. Timeout. All right. So, option routes, back to it, okay? If you've got a dude who's literally standing where you're supposed to run your route, maybe don't run that route right into him, right? It doesn't make any sense. So the option route in this one, let's say he had a skinny post and this is a safety here. Let's call it that. Okay, he's got a skinny post on, but it's going to run right into the lap of the safety. Stop. Break that thing off. Now, I don't know exactly, I don't remember what the route was or anything that Rodgers was mad at Tunyon about, but he definitely didn't hit the right option route, so Rodgers had to go one, check it backside to two. Thankfully, MVS was there. Kelly had asked about, or Brian3413 had asked about Jenkins, right? Dude's a good football player. I mean, his feet are a little weird. You know, well, I guess the way I coach it, his feet are a little bit weird because traditionally we want our offensive linemen to be on their insteps. They can get more force through the ground when they're on their insteps. But this dude likes to play on his toes. You can usually see a little bit of green grass under his heels. I think he's just strong enough to maybe overcome that. Here we go. Got Lazard in motion. Now he has an H-back, little sniffer action there. Little play action. Rodgers going to go take it himself and be the athlete he is. Woohoo! That's a $6,000 fine, but what does it matter to a $100 million man? He's pumped up. That was cool. That's a little, those off-schedule plays, man. He's so good at them. You see where he got that defender in conflict when he just hit that little pump fake? Like, what are you going to do if you're a defender one-on-one with Rodgers in the flat, who's a sneaky good athlete, and he pump fakes it? Like, you're going to have to throw your hands up and try to get that ball down. Like, this ain't fair, man. This is, can you imagine being Floyd right now? Like, that's just... That's unfair. What's going on? Was that a bad snap? Oh, no. Guys, your special teams is a mess. I love you guys. You're all friends, but your special teams is just a mess. Look at this. Woohoo! Ah, that's tough. All right. My apologies. Seems like they have Ramsey following Tay a lot. Yeah, they did. But they actually started giving him a little bit of help when Tay went into motion. They would bump that defense around a little bit and have him get a little more protected than the layup touchdown that he had to give up earlier. Hoover says, control the line. And JJ says, look at you learning numbers, man. It's just, I've been around a whole lot of Packers lately with some really, really good teachers. JJ Leahy teaching me who these guys are and their numbers and stuff. So appreciate you. I don't care it didn't work. I'm glad they tried it. Never seen Green Bay run any kind of fakes. I don't know that was a fake, dude. I really don't. I think that's what you call fire, okay? So fire, when you hear fire on extra point, okay, and this is what I think it was a fire. A bad snap or something like that comes, that holder has to scream out, fire, 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 and then what your kicker did was run a little tunnel, and he's got to bail around and try to make something happen. Because once that kick gets off schedule, a bad snap, a bobbled hold, something like that, once that kick gets off schedule, now these edge dudes have the ability to get in and block it. If that sucker is off schedule, even by a half second, now the dudes that you leave unblocked on the edge have the ability to get there and get their hand on it. So you got to yell fire, and you got to at least try to, maybe not eat it per se, but try to make something happen, because that's almost 100% getting blocked when that kick gets off schedule. So I don't think it was a fake at all, man. I truly think that was an off-schedule fire call, a bad snap, a bad hold, whatever that was. I didn't see it truly, and they had to hit some of their fire stuff. Bearded Buck Outdoors, our special teams are the worst. No comment. Jared said, I've never seen that bad a snap in the NFL. No, I was a long snapper, and admittedly not a very good long snapper before I graduated to being not a very good outside linebacker. It's tough. It's definitely an art, and it really gets tough if that ball is wet, because I would always long snap in gloves, you know, those gloves you wear, and when they get wet, they get a little more tacky. So it gets a little bit more difficult to get that full release when you've got that hand burrowed under, like if these are the laces, then you've got your middle finger down the backside seam of the ball. If it gets a little tacky and sticks as you snap that sucker, it's going to spin wild. It's kind of like, you know how baseball pitchers sometimes, here it is, you know, baseball pitchers sometimes, yeah, that's definitely a bad snap, and that's a fire call. because Crosby's looking to kick that sucker, and then he's like, okay, I'll go run tunnel. You can tell it's a fire call because Patrick, the left guard, was literally trying to watch it go through. It just didn't work out. You know, baseball pitchers sometimes get a little something on their hands. Sometimes they use like glue or something like that. They try to hide it to make that ball be all sorts of sticky. That's what sometimes happens with long snappers. That's not great. Yeah, the only guy less recognized than the offensive line is the long snapper, because you literally only know it when it goes bad. Trust me, I know. JJ says, thanks for clarifying. Never seen it before. Yeah, it's definitely a fire call. That's too bad. Definitely not a fake. Jared says, I wish they had the backup quarterback as the holder, give you a chance on fakes and fires. A lot of teams do that. Or just get their really, really athletic dude. Like the Rams have Johnny Hecker holding, and that dude is a freak athlete. But yeah, they can, the more athletic the holder, definitely the better off you are. That's what a lot of high school teams do, is get an athlete or your backup quarterback or whatever in to hold. So that's a good point. The lone kind of hesitation on that is if your backup quarterback gets his fingers kicked and you need him, it's kind of a problem, right? A lot more load action here. That was, 17 ran back on that and just kind of avoided the outside backer instead of trying to kick him. He was just trying to block him with conflict on that wide zone right play from the Rams on first down. I'm behind on the comments again. My apologies. Oh, no, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm actually caught up. Sweet. Questions, thoughts, comments, concerns. Again, always throw them in while we got a little bit of a break. Follow these dudes. They're way smarter than I am when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, and they're good dudes with really, really good content. Kind of entertaining and thoughtful. So at Pat Daddy and at JJ Leahy. Uh-oh, you got movement there from that. We kind of said it pregame, definitely said it in the week coming up. You know, if you let this offensive line get on your outside and wide zone, they can move you, not just like screen you off, but look at 71 and 63 on the combo here. That's movement, baby. That's what we call a wash. And we have very specific times when we try to use it so that we can get some of those big double teams. But yeah, that's just a wash. That was actually kind of strange alignment from Green Bay on that defensively. Coming down to the 2-minute warning here. Very excited for halftime. Get your questions on that sort of stuff as well. Boy, the Rams love wide zone back. They're setting up play action. It's coming. They're going to start trying to leak 81 and 17 out to the flats on some of that cross action. They are very personnel dependent right now without 10 in the game. You know, very little spread, very little empty, ton of 11 personnel, ton of 12 personnel, a lot of tight ends on the field. The Rams' offense right now is the Bears. Without 10 on the field, they're definitely hurting. So, I didn't put anything up here to talk about. So if you have questions or anything like that, throw them in the chat. Certainly appreciate that. Lindsey Pulling, insight, coach. Oh, God. If you get some center pull action. Now, the problem with center pull, I love the question, Bruce. Really love the question. But if you get Corey Lindsley out on a pull, any type of center pull, you got to have a real special kid. Snapping the football and getting your steps down for a pull. Look, my dudes in Coastal Carolina, oh, I'm still rocking the shirt, yo. My dudes in Coastal Carolina did a lot of this with a center who was 5'9". Like, that's crazy, right? That's a tiny, tiny human being. Well, I mean, not tiny, but short, right? But Coastal Carolina did a lot of this with center pull stuff. This dude has to be an incredible athlete to do it. Really hard to snap the football and turn around and pull, okay? Also, you have to have the defense for it. So let's just say we got this type of look here, okay? You can only pull the center one way in this. You can't pull the center backside here because you got a long, flat look here for that guard. Snapping the football and turning and pulling before that nose gets in, not a great look for you. So what I would do here is get this wash hooked, go ahead and get him up to backer level, get this, and pull him backside for some center trap and that sort of stuff. I don't know if Lindsley can do it. He might be able to. I don't know. I mean, I've certainly never seen it in all the film I've watched, but he might be able to. But yeah, that could be dirty because your inside backers here in a 4-2 type of setup, they're reading guards, okay? They're reading these dudes. They're their keys. Nobody's keying on the center for pull, okay? So it could be nasty because this read tells that backer to go here. This read tells that backer to go here. Like, yeah, it could be a sweet little trick, especially if you got some little RPO stuff to get that outside backer out of here. It could be a sweet little trap play here, but you got to have a real special dude to be able to snap the football off of his stance and then get his hands up and get that door open to pull. He's got to be special. Also, one of the reasons you don't see a lot of center pull is because of the way the offensive line actually aligns. So we always draw them in a straight line, but that ain't how it happens. They actually usually align like this. The guards and tackles are deeper than the other linemen. Okay, and that's really intentional so that they can get their second foot in the ground before contact's initiated. Okay, so they want to be a little bit away from that defensive lineman. You don't want to line head up over a defensive lineman as close as you can get to him, where it's just the width of the ball in the neutral zone between you two, because you'll take your first step, and by the time you try to get your second step, he's already into you, so he can push you back. So these guys actually align where their helmets just break the belt line of the center. So that means all these dudes got to get out of the way, and he would have to get depth to come through. So it takes a special dude to do it. I love it. I'm all for center pulls if you got the dude to do it. But if you, hey, that's a hold by 79, you're cheating. Okay? But if you don't have the dude to do it, it's going to get real expensive. And then obviously you're the closest one to the quarterback. So a bad snap or free releasing a defender into the quarterback, that's no bueno. 79 cheated on that play. He held. They didn't call it, and that's too bad because that's my dude Rob Havenstein from Wisconsin. Look at that little conflict route by Reynolds. Caught him slipping. Yo, Goff is actually going through progressions today. That's his second time he's checked off of his progression and hit it to Reynolds in the soft spot of the zone, so that's dope. JJ, Green Bay seems to be doing a good job of not allowing broken tackles, wrapping up early. Yep, I agree with you. There's my dude Chandon, right? 39, Chandon Sullivan. Yeah, that's him. I like the way that dude fills. He's little, but he plays big. Bruce says all-around domination, more than I expected so far. I mean, a lot of football left to be played, especially with the Rams in scoring position. 16-10 makes you a little bit more nervous going into half, so we'll see how the defense adjusts here. I think Green Bay gets the ball after halftime first, right? I think. Jared, massive holes in our zone. Yeah, when you have a quarterback who has time to go through his progressions, holes are going to open up in zone, especially like we just saw for Reynolds. So you're right. There's some holes there, some possibilities. That's a slick little timing route. That slick little sit route by Woods, pivoting to the outside. Not quite a full whip route, but Goff was on schedule on that one. Let's see here. My apologies. I know I'm on my phone. I'm a school teacher too. I should know better. I'm actually trying to be up here and be engaged in the game and also trying to be engaging with you all. And I'm sitting here on my phone, but I'm just making sure that my kids didn't burn the house down or something. A little quick set there. Woods got held at the line, FYI. You gotta go if you're LA. You can't sit, man. Here we go. Now we got a little tempo going from Goff. That arm motion means roll to us. I wonder, nope, that's a different signal for them. I thought it was going to be a sprint pass. Who caught that? Who's number 12? Anybody got insight on that dude? I don't think I've ever seen him before. Jefferson. Yeah. Yep, again, I think, I'll watch the replay, but I think it was zone covered, and he just sat in between the outside backer and the corner on that. Let's see. Oh, man. The replay didn't quite show it. Oh, it actually looks like man. So in man coverage, usually with an inside alignment in man coverage, and I'd have to see the snap at the beginning. Usually in man coverage, if you have inside alignment, yeah, that's a catch. Inside alignment, let's just say that this is that nickel player, number 31, and this is that Jefferson kid. Inside alignment is always going to, in man coverage, always going to give you the outside. That's why Tay scored the touchdown against Ramsey, because the outside is wide open. You can't cross through that face, okay? So I think it was man coverage. I didn't get to see the full replay on it, but you're going to have a hawk or a safety over the top, okay, drilling down on it. But if you can hit that little speed out or that little speed hook, it's a really, really tough thing to come through in man coverage. JJ, you're the kindest man in the world. Thank you for the donation, buddy. I hope you understand. That's going right back to you. I ain't collecting that money. I just get to sit here and talk like a sausage and pretend to be smart. So that money's going right back to Pat Gaddy and JJ Leahy and all the dudes at Packernet. But really appreciate that. Thank you for the donation, my man. Goff worked our zone on that touchdown drive. I agree with you, Jared. Anytime you get a quarterback who can go ahead and go through progressions, zone is going to eventually fail. The same with man. Like if a quarterback gets time with all the space that the defense has to try to cover, if the quarterback has time, a good one will pick you apart. So I agree that there were holes in your secondary and holes in your zone, but I'm going to ask the defensive line and the linebackers, the outside backers, whoever's bringing pressure, I'm going to ask them to shock and shed a little bit more readily and actually get some pressure on that quarterback so he doesn't have time to sit back there and let those holes in the zone develop. Okay? But I agree with you, Jared. That was a pretty impressive looking drive from the Rams. Mark, whip route. Yeah, my apologies, dude. Sometimes I use dumb terminology because that's what I kind of know it as. So if at any point in time you have questions on that sort of stuff, just let me know. So I appreciate you, Mark, asking what a whip route is. Let's say the M receiver here is going to run a whip route. Okay, what I call a whip route is a start vertical and then slant looking like it's in, and then pivot coming flat down the line back out. You can't let that sucker drift up the field because there's usually a dude here. So where this works out pretty well for the offense, let's just say you have a receiver on, and then you got a corner here and an outside backer here, okay? And this could be zone or man. It doesn't really matter all that much, and there's some things, but if that corner is bailing here, and this outside backer is responsible for the flats, but you as the receiver are running right at his breastplate, you're kind of walling him off, right? You're kind of boxing him out almost like in basketball. Then you pivot, and let's just say he's taking the corner away. If you pivot, you've got him on your butt. He's on your backside, so he's trailing you. And if that ball is thrown towards the sidelines, that's a whip route, and a good quarterback can throw you open on that. Okay? Even if that outside linebacker identifies it here, walls you off, as you pivot, he's still behind you. So he's still running this way. The only way for an outside linebacker to really take away the whip route is to undercut it. And that's the only time you're allowed to drift that sucker away. So if that outside linebacker, if you're running that whip route here, if that outside linebacker comes underneath you, then you're allowed to drift it up and get yourself open. But you don't usually want to drift it coming out of that whip route. You want to pivot and snap it vertically like this, because if that backer's here and you do drift it, now he can undercut it. So essentially, you're trying to box him out and not allow that throw to get anywhere near that outside backer or whoever's covering you. Great question. Whip route. I like it. Universal truth. Why keep playing zone off coverage when they have no great wideouts that scare us? Great question. I don't really know. I don't have a great answer for that. My guess is they're trying to save from the deep throw or the deep play and keep some over the top coverage. Nice little hit there on the what's called the hole shot, I guess, if you will. Where if this is Tay, and I know it's to the other side of the field, but what he just ran was a little out and up to get him into the hole on cover two between the corner and the safety. That's a really, really nice route. That's a great throw from Rodgers. Nice little hole shot play there. Chunk yardage, man. Cover two, I think that was actually hard to, where the corners are just going to try to press and keep him in the flats. And a good little release by Tay off of that press to end up hitting that hole shot along the sidelines. I think normally you'd like to see that now when you're that close to the boundary, you'd like to see that sucker try to get out of bounds. So good tackle to make him burn a timeout. But let's see if the Packers can do something here. Get about 30 more yards, get themselves in field goal range. Hopefully the snapper has his life figured out now. Man, a four-man rush with all sorts of crossface stuff. Here comes Donald. Like, that's a ton of time. Man, this offensive line, dude. This offensive line picking up and passing off stunts in man protection. I mean, Donald was eventually able to get free, but God, this offensive line is just, it's just beautiful to see. You love to see it. Watch this. 4-man rush from wide techniques, trying some stunt. They're actually literally trying to run in and smash concept on these stunts, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And just gorgeous. The toughness of Rodgers, the communication of the O-line. I think that might have been Scramble Drill. I can't quite. Oh, yeah, it's a chip release. He's like, okay, I'm shallow, I'm going deep. I'll take you through Scramble Drill and this O-line here. I want to remember this for halftime. Rodgers again with time. This is gorgeous! Oh, yeah, he had to undercut that. That was bracket coverage, what ended up being bracket coverage out of zone, or that over-under coverage where the safety was over the top, so that corner knew he could go ahead and undercut that route here. Was this two? Yep, so watch this corner. He can come underneath this route because you know you got 32, the safety over the top. So, nice little play by the safety to allow that corner to come underneath. But that's why that dude plays defense. Number 22, if you were good at catching footballs, you would play offense. Sorry to all the defensive-minded folks out there, but it's the way it is, yo. Yeah, Jared, I saw that Tay route. That was nasty, right? That little hole shot there that Tay ran to help get him in this position. Look at, oh man, what's going on here? They got a lot more bracket coverage coming on. That over-under stuff, knowing that Green Bay is going to try to take them shots into the end zone. That's twice this ball should have been picked off. This might have been OPI as well. Let's see, MVS. Oh, great sneaky little stuff there from MVS. Yeah, that's a team player, guys. He knows he doesn't have a chance to catch that football, so make sure the other dude doesn't. MVS, love him or hate him, yo, he saved you 3 points. Love it. Great play by Tunyon and Rodgers. Universal truth, I can't wait to break this down. The long snapper figured his life out, and you got 3 points at the end of the half. So I'm going to go through some of this here. Let me just hella throw and pocket working by A-Rod. First and foremost, let's give a little appreciation to the word hella. And let's give a little appreciation to Jared for using the word hella. I think it's an underutilized word, but it's a whole lot of fun. So we'll go through Scramble Drill and what the O-line did on that Roberto Grande catch to get you 3 points, okay? So first and foremost, I'm going to talk about the O-line, A, because it's what I love, and B, because it's my show, so I get to talk about whatever the heck I want, okay? The Rams are out wide here, right? Really wide. And when they're out wide like that, what they're going to try to do, and we saw this against Seattle when Aaron Donald just absolutely pigeonholed a guard, okay? They're trying to get you to have to stretch out wide. Once they get that offensive line to come out really wide and have to protect the hoop way out here, if they get you hopping out wide one way, they can cross face pretty easily and get to the quarterback. So this is what they're trying to do on this side. Then on this side, they got some nastiness coming. Because this dude can start way out wide in a wide 9, so he might be a full 4 yards or so, 5 yards away from this guard. And he just runs into him as fast as he can. He's trying to just hit this guard and plow him into the center who's coming over to help. That way, he can hopefully cross the face of the offensive tackle, and that 3-tech should get a clean release. But man, oh man, did this offensive line protect that well. It's excellent communication from the tackle, your right tackle Rick Wagner, to the guard, back to the center on this play side, on this right side, okay? So as that end is screaming off, trying to just ear hole that guard so that that tackle gets that free release, he is screaming in, or whatever his call is. That means this guard now and the center sliding over have to avert their attention to him. That means Rick Wagner can now step in heavy, not even really have to touch this D end, and he's there to protect that. That is gorgeous. And guys, it happens so fast. And I want you to really, truly appreciate the fact that this guard knows he's going to get absolutely slobber knocked on this. He is going to get hit and hit hard. And he's ready for it. Dude, 62 is still a dude. Like, I know he got picked on in that Carolina game, but dude's a dude. Okay? So he's going to be willing to take this. He's going to be willing to help pass that off then. Not only does he get hit, but then he passes it off to Lindsley so he can't just get hit and rebounded through. Passes it off to 63. And then Rick Wagner, knowing that's happening, doesn't get himself out of position, and he's around to pick up that 3-tech on that stunt. That is gorgeous. Okay? And then what we saw from Big Bob was Scramble Drill. Okay, so anytime something gets quote-unquote off schedule, right, where you run all your routes and that ball is still in the pocket. Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown it yet. Big Bob started here, got a little chip release, and then he was supposed to be the check down sit. So as he got his chip release and turned and sat, and he's sitting right there, he saw that Rodgers still has the ball. That sucker hasn't gone anywhere. So now he hits scramble drill. And what that tells you, if you're to the quarterback and you're low, well, now you go high. And then let's just say, I don't know what this route was, but let's just say it was a deep route. Here, on scramble drill rules, if you're deep, you come back to the quarterback. See all that conflict that's going to put the defense in now? This is why holes open up in zone and man coverage if you get time, okay? Because let's just say right here is an outside backer, okay, and he's covering up Big Bob. And back here is a corner, and he's staying on top of that deep route, right? Well, now that corner, after this, once he comes into your zone, he's yours, right? So now this dude spins back around. There's no communication that can happen. That means the corner's got to take him. Now the outside backer is going to get beat just by alignment and assignment with Big Bob Tunyon. So it's a great job running scramble drill. It's an unbelievable job by that offensive line. And the one thing that might not end up getting a lot of recognition and praise is this dude right here just gave you 3 points. That ball was underthrown into bracket coverage. It should have been picked by that corner. And dude's just like, all right, I'm just going to grab that corner. It's a coy little move, but he just grabbed that corner's near arm and made sure that that corner couldn't one-hand pick that. So when you're a receiver and you're on top of a defender, and the defense does the exact same thing. Don't get me wrong, like everybody cheats in this game. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But let's just say 83's here, and that corner is coming underneath him, and that ball is underthrown. When that corner is running, if you grab his near arm, he doesn't have the ability to one-arm body catch it anymore, right? Like as he's running and that ball's coming this way, if you're on top of this arm and you grab it, he can't make this catch. That's ridiculous. Nobody can make that catch, right? So 83 saved you 3 points there. If this thing comes down to a one-possession game, I know you guys hate him because he has these big drops and seemingly lacks concentration at times and stuff like that. I totally understand it. But if this comes down to a one-score game, that dude won it for you. All right, my apologies here. I'm getting way behind on the comments. Jenkins and the O-line are playing great. Universal truth, you're the dude. Way to recognize, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, they are playing really well. Oh, they're replaying the Tay Ramsey touchdown. Look at that. I should be an announcer, bro. That little pivot route from MVS too had to hold 33. Ha! That's awesome. My apologies. Slobber knocked. yeah, I get some weird vernacular sometimes, some strange phrasing, Mark. So not always the greatest at it, but sometimes I say some really dumb things, but I just have fun and I get caught up in the heat of the moment. Travis, and Elton Jenkins is shutting Donald down one-on-one. Yes, he is. Jenkins is strong, dude. He's a smart offensive lineman, and he's strong. His technique's a little goofy at times. We talked about his insteps versus his heels. He likes to be up on his toes, so his heels have a little bit of air under him at times, which really allows him to be shocked and shed, or what we call a bull and pull, where that defensive line can get into your chest. If they get into your chest, then they can catch you leaning and pull you down. So he is susceptible to that. But bottom line, dude is playing great today. This whole offensive line is playing great today, and you love to see it, especially when you lose possibly, arguably, the best left tackle in the game. Now you got Billy Turner going out and playing some left tackle. Now I know I came down on him a little bit, where he maybe didn't have his greatest game all the time. You know, I kind of was like, hey, there's concerns here against the Bears, and he definitely had those, but he cleaned a lot of technique up, and they're playing very well. I love it. Travis also says, I know you see an Elton Jenkins, coach. Yeah, you know I'm seeing it. You know I'm seeing it. Hey, I'll tell you what, though. The dude I'm really impressed with, now, don't get me wrong, I love Billy Turner, I love Jenkins. Corey Lindsley, we already talked about, is a dude of a dude. This dude is also having a great game, okay? Because he's going against this dude quite a bit. 52 for the Rams, this Floyd kid, okay? He doesn't get a lot of press or a lot of respect unless you're, you may know him, you may not, if you're really kind of into it. But this dude is fast, like stupid fast, okay, and wildly athletic. So, and we saw that, like even though it was a goofy play, we saw that on the Rodgers scramble touchdown, right? With that pump fake. Dude probably jumped like 3.5 feet in the air. Now, I'm being facetious, but like that's a heck of a jump. Like that's a crazy athlete. So for him to be absolutely out of the game, that's a great testament to Rick Wagner, because Rick Wagner shouldn't be playing offensive line for the Packers right now, right? Lucas Patrick shouldn't be playing offensive line for the Packers right now. Billy Turner should be playing right guard for the Packers right now because he's better guard than tackle. But the simple fact is, A, Stenovich and Butkus, your two O-line coaches, pay them all the money in the world. Don't let them leave, okay? If Hackett does end up taking a head job somewhere, say best of luck to you, but really, really interview Stenovich for that job because, oh man, are these dudes good. Number one, okay? Number two, give all the credit in the world to 71 and 62 and 77 because these boys are playing way out of position or are quote-unquote backups, okay? And they are just absolutely killing it. So this is just, it's fun to watch. It's an O-line coach's dream. It's just gorgeous. If I was a quarter of the coach of Stenovich or Butkus, I would be making so much money right now. Helly, he's from Butternut. What do you expect? Thanks, Helly. Yes, my roots are from a town called Butternut, Wisconsin, which is a town of 412 people in the very northern part of the state. Fun fact, you can look it up if you're bored right now during halftime. If you're sick of eating cocktail weenies and downing some Miller Lights, you can look up Butternut, Wisconsin. That's my hometown. And our mascot was and still is, no lie, we are the Butternut Midgets. Like, that sucks. Not only is your town name stupid, but your mascot is the Midgets. Like, when I was playing basketball, like, yo, imagine being a 5'4" that's what I was in high school, 5'4" point guard with midgets just emblazoned across your chest, yo. That sucked. So much so, I've got a quick story and then we'll get back to football. I was playing against a team called Mercer, a town way in the northern part of the state. So we're playing against this team and we're just getting shelled, right? Like, we're down 30 points. There's like 3 minutes left in the game. Both teams are in the bonus, and I'm bringing the ball up the court, and we're just like trying to get out of it and go home with the very little bit of dignity we have left. And I get intentionally fouled and have to go to the free throw line. Down 30. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Here's the real truth, yo. They intentionally fouled me to put me on the free throw line as a 5'4" high school junior, just so their entire student section could chant out, "He's the mascot. He's the mascot." I was like, yo, that is trolling to a new level. You couldn't even really get mad. You had to respect it. So that was sweet. I'm going to get to the comments here real quick. Daryl, what's up, Daryl? I want to see more up in your face man defense. My guess is that's coming in the second half when you got a little bit of a lead and the big play isn't hyper expensive anymore, but you want to just close this sucker out, right? So my guess is, Daryl, that's a great point. My guess is that's going to start coming a little bit. You're going to start seeing a little more press release, especially understanding that the Rams may have to start throwing the ball a little bit more. The nice thing about man up in your face defense, especially if you're playing cover one, is you can get another man in the box to stop the run. And if there's one way that the Rams have moved the ball and kind of set up all this play action and these progression reads and slowed that D line down, was running in wide zone. So great point. Travis and Mark are laughing at me for the Butternut Midgets. Appreciate you guys. So does Bearded Buck. Appreciate you guys laughing at me. Brian 3413 says, I know it's tough to see, but are the Rams still playing too high late spin 1-3? Or are you seeing different coverages because of the Packers' condensed sets? What a great question. I don't know because of the angle I have here. And that's a good question. I really, really appreciate that, Brian. I just don't know because I can't really see the safeties. And to be honest with you, I'm not always paying the best of attention to that as I'm starting to kind of hope for some offensive line, defensive line keys and cues. So I'm not always watching that. You may know a little bit better than I. So if you're seeing something, please, I would certainly appreciate it if you let me know. I'll try to keep an eye out for that later. Good. Ryan's laughing at me for the Butternut Midgets. Appreciate that. Bearded Buck Outdoors says, I played Mercer. All right. Yeah, so a little shout out to Mercer, Wisconsin for one of the better trolls that I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, that doesn't fly in today's day and age anymore. You're probably not allowed to do that. But yeah, it was kind of a no rules type of thing back when I was in high school. Had some amazing memories fishing on the Turtle Flambeau Flowage. Yeah, right. That's kind of right up in my neck of the woods. I lost a lot of lures on the Turtle Flambeau Flowage. As a matter of fact, my wife's family still has a cabin up on the Turtle Flambeau Flowage. So Mercer's a nice town. It's just their student section sucks. No, we had fun back in high school. We were a terrible sports program. Actually, my high school, now that I'm kind of going down memory road, I didn't get to play high school football. I didn't get to play football at all until I went to college and ended up starting to play some semi-pro stuff. But yeah, I didn't get to play high school football because my graduating class had 12 kids in it. My entire high school had 49. Like, you can't build a football program out of that. As a matter of fact, just to kind of round out this whole slate, Butternut now co-ops with Mercer, so they've joined together to have enough people to put together an 8-man football team. So, hey, at least they're playing football in Butternut. That's cool to see. Maybe they're making more friends with Mercer now, and they're not trolling the little kids anymore. Hopefully, I don't know. Been a minute since I've been up there. Daryl says, how about this bad man? It's a Rogers emoji. Yo, that dude is playing well. Obviously been playing well all season. Well, played well his whole career, right? But just hyper intelligent, super athletic. I agree with you, man. He's a bad man. You pair him up with a LaFleur type of mind, a Hackett type mind, and offensive line coaches that can do this, along with receivers who are just stupid intelligent. Like, can you imagine game planning defensively against this team? Like, what do you do? I mean, you gotta pick your poison. If you don't get pressure on Rodgers, then eventually he's going to break apart any zone or man coverage scheme that you have using those scramble rules. If you sell out and bring a ton of pressure on him, he's going to beat you with hot throws and quick throws in motion and formation, and it's just a nightmare, man. They are really good. Brandon Leckler trying to strip the ball on every tackle. I love the aggression. Watching from Saskatchewan, Canada. Welcome, dude. Yo, we are international here at Packernet. We got dudes in Saskatchewan. We had dudes in Vancouver watching the other night. Got a dude in Nova Scotia. Somebody checked in from Sweden. We got Dare who's way over in Ireland. Like, we're going postal, baby. International. I love it. And it's all because of what Ryan and JJ have built here through the Packernet podcast. So really appreciate them, and really appreciate all of you for taking the time to hang out here and just ask some questions and try to learn and help me out so that I can learn. Looks like Mason Crosby has a collarbone issue, probably from that tunnel, that little shovel tunnel that he ran off of fire. Somebody fill me in on that. I have no sound so that I can sit here and talk like an idiot. Some more comments here. Robert says, my Bears drafted Floyd but couldn't really develop him. Good for him now. Yeah, that dude's a dude, Robert. He's really good. He's an animal. And it helps when you get to play next to 99, right? Because 99 is going to take the bulk of the attention. A lot of offensive lines are going to try to slide his way. If they're in man slide protection, try to slide his way and double him as much as possible, giving Floyd a lot of one-on-ones. But, I watched him against the Cardinals. I watched him against the Seahawks. Like, he's got some nasty in him. He's pretty athletically gifted. So for Rick Wagner to be able to do what he's doing against him, kudos to him, man. Travis, what's the worst pencil whipping you've received as a coach? I'm a little afraid to ask the question, Travis, but what's a pencil whipping? If you could fill me in on that. If you're talking about butt kicking, I got a story for you there a little later on if you're asking about that, because I got humbled pretty quick my second year as a coach. And I'll take you through that maybe at a dead ball or something like that. Fun little story for you. So if that's what you mean, I certainly got one. If not, please feel free to clarify what a pencil whipping is, because I'm unfamiliar with it. Packers ball again, nub sets, man. They're just loving what the Rams are giving them in a nub set. I think I know why. Oh, that dude's gone. Foot race with a safety. Oh, 51 ran him down. No, he didn't. Ha! Psych! Switches the ball. Intelligent runner. That is so well done. I can't wait to see this replay to see how he got into that play side A gap so quickly. If it's a false step by a linebacker or a good scheme coming out of half, because one way or the oh, come on, I hate when they do this. I want to see the scheme. Now, Corey Linsley got his hands outside on that linebacker, and you don't want to do that. It would be such a shame if that play came back because of a hold. Oh, yeah, a little duo action. Yo. So duo is inside zone one way for the offensive line, and then the running back gets an automatic cutback on it. I'll show you duo here. Remind me to show you duo, yo. That is so dope. Put those backers in conflict after you've been running wide zone. Yeehaw, touchdown. Oh, bummer. Next dead ball. Remind me to go through duo, because that is such a great play to come out with, especially right after halftime. That is nasty, nasty. Oh, you love to see it. Big block by Linsley, and then see ya by Jones. Yeah. If Linsley just gets his elbows in and his thumbs out on that block, as opposed to giving that dude a hug, that's even better. So if I'm grading, I'm not going to grade that as a great block, because I don't like to see those hands outside. I don't ever want to get a hold. especially on a run like that. But yeah, hell of a job getting up to that inside backer by him. They're doing it again. A.J. Dillon this time. All right. Bearded Buck. Did the center break that? I don't know. Lindsley, yeah. We'll go through what duo is here as soon as these dudes score. Show you the big play that set it all up. Duo is nasty because it gets those poor inside linebackers just confused. It's cool. It's a great complement to wide zone and inside zone. It's essentially power without a puller. Oh, that was cool. Third down here, and they're just going to run inside zone and follow Patrick. Lucas friggin' Patrick. When you need 2 yards, yeah, I'd follow 62 and 63 too. Woohoo! I hope all my Packer friends are really excited because this is sweet. This is a clinic on offensive line play. Man, I cannot wait to get the all 22 of this game. It's just going to be the happiest I've been in a long time because these guys are just awesome. Love the scheme, love the O-line. I mean, obviously all the complementary players, the quote-unquote skill players around them. But this is just a clinic. Put 13 in motion, get that nub tight end again. Oh, I thought he was going all the way across the formation here. He comes in as a sniffer, and you're just going to pummel the ball. Oof, he was close. That's a great tackle to spin him back around by Brockers. Because if you don't get that spin around, he's going to fall forward into the end zone. So that's just a heads-up play by another really good lineman that you don't hear a lot about on this Rams team. Holy smokes, I'm falling behind. Wonder if that cartilage is what's affecting Donald or if it's Elton. Because he is a ghost. Yeah, he's disappearing right now, bro. Oh, look at the shock and shed by Brockers. That's my one knock on Turner. Okay, he doesn't have that finish that you want to see all the time. He doesn't, he extends a little bit, almost like a defensive lineman. And if a defensive lineman is able to extend, they're going to be able to get off and win. Yeah! Look at that put. Now Turner didn't extend. Now you run right behind him and you go score a tutty. After this extra point, I'm going to show you duo, and then I'll get back to the other comments here. Jared thought they would stretch him on runs, but they're dominating inside. They're doing both, baby. They're running wide zone. They're running inside zone. Look at that. I wonder if that means that man is going to get paid in the offseason and hang around. I don't know. You guys figure that out. You're way smarter than me on it. Yeah, go for 2. That poor long snapper's like, why don't they trust me? Well, you didn't do your job. That's what happens, Turner. Look at that. Watch 77 on this play, and you just follow him. When he doesn't extend on his blocks and he leans his big boy body in like that, he is a freaking wrecking ball. You love to see it. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. Patrick is playing well. Can't agree more. I think this whole offensive line is playing well. Man, if I'm a running back or a quarterback on this Green Bay team and you pull this win off, like steak dinners on me for that offensive line. Maybe not steak dinners, I don't know. Take them to a buffet. Make the buffet go out of business. That way you don't lose your $100 million because these boys eat. Condensed sets out of empty. Ooh, he's got to go through progressions. Look at this time, you guys! This is just gorgeous, you guys. It's a clinic. I don't care if it's complete or not. It's a freaking clinic. What an offensive line. All right, real close. Is there a flag here? All right, real quick while I got a break. Let's go through duo and show you why it's just so nasty. Okay? So we're going to run duo right here, which means we have to be at an 11 personnel, and I don't care if it's nub or what the formation is. You just want a guy on the line here or a wing because you have to run duo away from your 11 personnel set. But what this is, usually when the tailback line's here in what we call sidecar, I don't care what you call it, okay? When it's gun formation here and he aligns here, usually what happens is he's going to cross that face of the quarterback to either run wide zone or inside zone, right? So you're thinking, if you're an inside linebacker, you're thinking this sucker is going to go that way, okay? But here, let's actually set the 3-tech away to the strength. Let's actually draw up a good formation here. Sam, Mike, Buck, outside backers, whatever, okay? So you're thinking just by the pre-snap alignment that this thing is going to go this way, to your defensive right, the offensive left. Okay? But then at the snap, what they're going to do is run inside zone. The entire offensive line is going to run inside zone this way, to the right. So you've got him. You can get this big, nasty double team up to that backer, and that's where you saw Lindsley come off and just stonewall that backer, right? Then you get this big, nasty double team up there, and we call it duo because you can almost guarantee that you're going to get 2 double teams from somewhere. So duo means 2 double teams, right? And then as long as your H can hook that end, now these guys are making their reads, so they're reading guards, and the guards are stepping this way because it's inside zone. So they're going to flow this way. And you can see how their flow takes them right into that double team. So now it's like they're breaking the rules, like the Packers are breaking the rules. Because now this dude can simply take that ball and take his pick, and if he wants to go here, or if that Sam backer gets covered up real quick, go right up the gut and go. Duo, as a complement play to zone, wide zone or inside zone, is nasty because you're screwing with the rules of the inside backer. They're making the reads, they're going the right way, but you're coming across. It's almost like an inside zone counter play. Power without the pull. It is sweet. What a great call to come out in halftime with. And then obviously, great job by this dude as this Mike tries to redirect. You got that nose pushed over here, and Patrick's going to take over that nose, and then Lindsley right here, 63, can go ahead and cover this dude up, wall him off, and then bam, you're off to the races. And as our running backs coach says, and I said it time and time and time again, if you're in a foot race with a safety and you can't make him miss or you can't run him over, go sit on the bench and think about what you just did. We're going to need a new football player. Wow. They should have hit Jones right away on the 2-pointer, waited too long. I don't remember that. Oh, yeah, Jones went in motion. Yeah, out of empty. So, yeah, they could have, most certainly. I wonder what that safety drilled down in. Because, again, when you're in the low red zone like that on that 2-point play, Jared, that safety doesn't have to cover as much ground anymore. So he might have been drilling down on motion. I'm not exactly sure. That's the possibility. Finally, some gap responsibility from your special teams. Look at that. Look at the squeeze they put him in. Not allowing him outside. Guys are finally in their lanes on kickoff coverage. Like, if you can figure out special teams, you are Super Bowl champions. Like, this is crazy. Oh, my bad. LaFleur should be coach of the year, just saying. Yeah, I don't know who's calling plays per se. I'm not that familiar with the Packers organization, but between LaFleur, Hackett, that sort of stuff is usually, not usually, but sometimes can come from the offensive line coaches too. So Stenovich and Butkus and those guys can give some intel at halftime after watching plays saying, hey, these backers are flowing like mad. Let's hit them with a little counter duo play. I don't know who it's coming from, but they're doing a great job. Look at that cut by Robert Woods. Yikes. A nasty little play. Hope that dude's getting up. Yeah, 20, Kevin King, he got up. Sometimes that cut out in space, especially when the corner is filling that fast, if his cleat's still in the ground, that thing can get ugly quick. So you don't want that to happen. Man, this game is cruising along. Holy smokes. Is it just me? It might just be me. Hey, you better sort yourselves out, 39-23. Good. Out of empty like that, 39-23 were stacked, and you don't want to see that. They could have been in some problems there. Expect to see a quick cross at the line from the trip side here. Nope, they didn't. Don't expect to see that. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Ooh. Nice little pressure there from 51. Good job. Good coverage as well. I expected to see a little bit more of a cross pattern out of that trips look from the Rams. From these two dudes, M, H, then you get your Z receiver on. You know, when you had 39 aligned inside and 23 aligned head up on the spear, I expected to see a little bit more of that type of look if they were going deep. But they didn't. They just stuck here and ran inside alignment and ran themselves out of the play, really. I love when they put 23 on the point, and I'll talk about the point in just a moment, but he's just so physical. There's that cross action I was hoping to see. Didn't work out because 23 got a great jam, and bang-a-rang, you get a sack. That's nice. That's not quite a coverage sack. I mean, these dudes did a good job of shocking and shedding on the offensive line, but watch the point, man. You know, if he could have delivered that ball when he wanted to, that would have been a completion. He had to stare that thing down and wait for some separation, and now all of a sudden Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary can get in there, do a little cross face and a stunt, or a slant that might have been. I didn't quite see where they initially aligned, but 3 and out, man. That's what the Packers are looking for. Oh, leave that thing alone. Leave that thing alone. You've got a really good offense. There you go. All right, so what I mean by the point is when they put Robert Woods or whoever it is that they're going to put on point, what I mean is out of a trips formation, he's the dude on the line, okay? He's the one that he can get jammed. Okay? They're trusting that he has a really, really quick release, so even if he does get jammed or get pressured, they're hoping that he can get off of that and go out. And then this could be just another jabroni and another jabroni over here. But when you put 23 on the point, what you're asking is your very best press dude to go against their very best press releaser. And a lot of times, 23 is just going to win that and get him off schedule a little bit. Okay? And then that's going to screw up. I think he actually went inside on that last play when he was on point. That's going to screw up the timing of that scissor route or that little switch route that they had going on. When it screws up the timing of it, it gives this single high free safety right here a little bit more time to get over that. If he can get back over that, especially when they're in an empty set, then it's got to take it away. Then Goff's got to stand here, and all of a sudden 52 is going to cross this face here, and it's a sack. So not quite what you would call a coverage sack, but it definitely had a lot to do with 23 playing on point. So that was cool, man. I like to see it. You'll love to see it. Cut Tavon, he's jumped. Yo, I ain't touching that. I think he made a smart play there. You know, that was a booming punt. That was just a nasty punt from Johnny Hecker. And he's probably aligning where his special teams coordinator or his punt guy, whoever his coach is, he's probably aligning where he's told to align. And when that punt goes over his head, I mean, if he turns around and tries to catch that, could get nasty. You don't want to give that ball away, especially in the red zone. I think he did the right thing there, especially with a lead. Leave it alone. Let it go. Let it be down at the 15. Yeah, you're going to take a field position hit and that sort of stuff. But guess what? Sometimes the other team makes good plays too. Johnny Hecker friggin' boomed that thing, man. All right, my apologies. Brandon, what have you seen from Gary in his second year? Lot more violent hands. JJ and I actually talked about this a little bit. JJ Leahy, really, really smart dude. 52 is getting a lot more violent hands and getting extension, which means he can get off of the offensive lineman. And this goes back to a little bit what I was talking about of Billy Turner, where he'll actually extend in the run game. I don't like it. I don't let my offensive lineman extend, okay? I want to get in as an offensive lineman and get as close to the defender as possible. That way, I can kind of bully him, and if he's trying to extend or go one way or the other, I can mirror him, okay? If I extend and I push that defender away from me, or he gets extension and pushes away from me, then all of a sudden he can rip one way or the other. He's got a lot more space to operate. It's a lot harder to lock down the block. Okay? That's what I don't like about Billy Turner in the run game, is sometimes he extends. So let's just say you got an offensive tackle here, and he's going to block Gary as an outside linebacker. He's gotten very, very good at pushing that offensive lineman away and extending and then getting off of that. That's what I've seen lately since about week 7 or 8. Look at these dudes just roll. Run the damn ball. Don't tell me it's a hold. Man, if one of these offensive linemen got their hands outside of the frame and held, it's going to be no bueno. They're backing up. You don't like to see that. Great question, though, Brandon. That's what I like to see from Rashawn Gary, is that great extension or getting away from the block so he has a little bit more room to actually work. Let's see if I can see this hold here. It's on Wagner, 71 right tackle. They're just going to run a little bit of inside zone left and extension. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm just going to say, dear Mr. Referee, I politely disagree with that call. I very politely disagree with that call, good sir. Whatever. Let bygones be bygones, because you got away with a couple of holds earlier. And he's just going to take a deep shot. Oof. Had a man. I didn't see what happened there because I was still fuming about the hold in which I politely disagreed on. So inside leverage. Ooh, nice little double move. Inside leverage, but 22's head was inside, which makes me think, I don't know if he's playing catch zone or squeeze zone or what he's doing there, because he was certainly a run defender eventually, but that little double move was nasty. Caught him slipping. Jamal busting up the team. A little high today on a few, says Jared. Yeah, he's missed a couple. You know, it's certainly not the typical precision passing that you'd see, but he's got time to throw. Uh-oh, get rid of it. God, he's magic in the pocket. Oh, my God. You guys, this is unfair football. It's just unfair. Look at Lazard. Lazard's a fighter, too. I like that dude. Let's see this protection, baby. What do you got going on here? Another roll stunt. What a knock by 85 to push that sucker back into the slide. Lindsley just finding work all over the place. You guys, it's just, man, if that really late dig on scramble rules again. Just keep running, baby. Make something happen. Make something happen. Scramble rules. Keep crossing that face on that dig and going all the way across the field. Just gorgeous. Just it's how they teach it. Look at the way they are just pummeling the line of scrimmage, you guys. Watch the offensive line on early downs. Anytime you think it might be a run, watch this Rams defense. That whole D-line just move backwards 2 to 3 yards. Let me show you why that's so freaking important. Okay? No, I'm going to wait for... So we're going to talk about LOS, or line of scrimmage, at the next dead ball, because this is just a treasure to watch. Watch this on the replay. Watch how far they get blown off the ball. Look at 94. He's like 6 yards back. Well, not 6. I'm exaggerating there, but he's like 3-4 yards back. And then you got a tough runner like that, throwing some gap, baby. Throwing a little trap. I suppose you don't need to when you're running zone this well. Uh-oh. Aww. Here's a great coaching point. Catch the ball. I love hearing that, especially in high school. O-line, you got to block somebody. Catch the ball. Like, those are my favorite comments to hear up in the stands. Like, O-line, you got to block somebody. And like, oh, really? I didn't know that. What great insight. This whole time I was teaching them not to block anybody. No, let's try it your way. Alligator arms. Go get that sucker. Extend out, put those pinkies together, whatever. I'm not a wide receivers coach. I literally have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Here's your goose. This one's for you. There's that pony package. Got zone going one way with the disconnect on Aaron Jones in motion the other. Oh, shoot. I forgot about the comments again. My apologies. Nice pocket in the end zone for sure. Dude, this offensive line is just nasty. Best running back group in Packers history. JJ says Rams need the D-line to get some big plays or this game is over. Yeah, if you allow them to keep running the ball like they've been running the ball. Woo, baby. My wonderful wife says he should have hit Jones with the pass earlier for the 2-point. Look at that. I think it was Jared who said that. I don't remember who said that in the chat, but yeah, my wife echoes your sentiment. She's a football gal, man. I am blessed beyond measure with her. She's very intelligent when it comes to the game, and she's a Packer fan. So you'll all be happy to hear that. She's not from Butternut, though. She's not a midget. She's a Cardinal. Finally, a little bit of pressure, but there's your one-on-one matchup that you want. Oh, throw that flag. He's draped all over him. Really? No flag. Bold move. All right. Very questionable call. If you're talking about that hold, Mark Hoover, if you're talking about that hold on Rick Wagner, again, I just go back to, dear Mr. Official, sir, I politely disagree. Lazard hitting beast mode. I agree, Jared. Nice pocket in the end zone. Yeah, this is all good stuff. Keep them comments coming. You'll appreciate it. Again, really quick before I forget, and I always forget because I'm not very intelligent and I'm really bad at multitasking. If you are the giving type, you do have the ability on YouTube to make a little donation to Pack Daddy and JJ Leahy so that they can get compensated for all the incredible work that they continue to do to make things like this happen if this is something that you really enjoy. Otherwise, go to patreon.com/pack_daddy or patreon.com/JJ Leahy. Right there, patreon.com, JJ Leahy. Give them a little coin because they put all the work in to make this happen, and I just get to sit here and talk about really cool football plays. So let's talk about why the line of scrimmage is so very important for the offensive line to win like they've been doing today. Okay? So let's get back to that run here, little inside zone run. Okay? When you move the line of scrimmage, when you get movement here to where this dude isn't blocking it up here, even if you have him blocked to where he can't make the play, if he's holding the line of scrimmage, your angles as a running back really change, okay? So if he's held up right here, then you can really only kind of get here and have to skinny it, or here and have to skinny it. However, when you get movement there, all your angles widen out for a running back, and it only makes sense, right? So if this double team here and here from the center take the nose here, all of a sudden your lanes get a lot bigger, a lot wider. You got a lot more room, and if you have more room, that means those linebackers have to cover more space, right? And linebackers in space isn't always the best thing, especially if you've got a lot of room here to operate. Sometimes you can make a miss. Usually what happens is when they have to cover more space, your angle for that backside offensive lineman to go ahead and intercept gets a little bit better. Man, some really, really smart football coaches that I get to be around, my head coach being one of them, and then actually his dad, some incredibly intelligent offensive line guys. They continue to go back and say, yo, football is all about blocking and tackling. If you can block and tackle, you're going to win a ton of football games, right? Keep it simple. And then they just keep saying football, like the blocking execution of football is literally all about angles. Giving your dudes the opportunity to get on a better angle and a better path will always, always, always beat just brute strength, right? Now, if you can be strong, you can have good technique, and you can get good angles, you're going to be a wonderful offensive lineman, right? Top level. But if you're a little bit lighter in the pants, or maybe your technique isn't always that great, if you can get a good angle, you can really, really be a good offensive lineman. And that's what they're doing here when they get movement, is not only are you winning this nose and pushing him back and giving your tail back, much better lanes here, okay? But these two offensive linemen are also helping out their backside buddies and giving them much better angles to get up to a linebacker who's faster than a guard. That's no surprise, right? He's faster, he's more athletic than a guard sometimes. I mean, I still think offensive linemen are the best athletes on the team to be that big and move that way, okay? But it just gives you a better angle to go ahead and intercept and wall that off. So it's just so, so very good. I love it. Love when you can win the line of scrimmage. You win the line of scrimmage, man, good things happen. Ah, shoot, my apologies. I forgot about the comments again. Good play on the cornerback. MVS needs to come back a bit to draw the penalty. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm not a receivers coach. I'm not that intelligent when it comes to the finite details of receivers. But it certainly makes sense, Jared. I'm not questioning that opinion. I'm just saying I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if you slow that or throttle that down a little bit, yeah, you're probably going to get that cornerback to run into you and be a little more aggressive and draw the flag. That's a smart move. All right. JJ says, 0 hits on Rodgers so far. Which lineman deserves MVP? If I'm giving out MVP, I'm giving it to this dude. Then I'm going to give it out to Jenkins. I forget his number because I'm a little bit brain dead right now. Then I'm giving it to that kid. Then I'm giving it to that kid. Then I'm giving it to that kid. Somebody please remind me what Jenkins' number is, because I feel like a doorknob right now. Okay? But I would give MVP to him and him and him and him and him. They've all done magical things in different ways today. And it's just incredible to watch. Turner with his big non-extension block on that last rushing touchdown for Green Bay. Jenkins with his ability to stonewall Donald and actually, use really fast feet to keep him stonewalled. Corey Linsley, A, for setting all the protections. That's a tough thing to do as a center. And then B, getting up the field and covering up that Mike Backer on that Big Jones run. Patrick for all his help, not only in the run game, because dude's been moving people in the run game, but also all of his help over to Rick Wagner, number 71, and then 71 for shutting down Floyd. Like, who's MVP? Them dudes. 74. Thanks, guys. You're so much smarter than I am. This looks a little bit better. Green Bay MVPs. I'm going to keep that up for just a minute, because that looks gorgeous. There, your Green Bay MVPs. How about those 5? Love it. As an offensive line coach, I'm a little bit biased, but man, are they magical. Oh, that's a false start. Right tackle, you left early. You're cheating. Robert Wood's getting all fired up over something. I don't know if he's thinking he's getting held or what. Let's see. He's at the top. What is he whining about, bro? Like, I don't get it. Unless he's just talking smack. I don't know. We got the first again. He's pretty good at that little pivot, getting the first right at the sticks. That's pretty good. All right, look at all you guys. 74, 74, 74. Man, appreciate you. Man, what would they be doing with Bach? Probably winning 50-10. I don't know, man. Like, Bakhtiari would make a huge difference, but I don't know if he would make a huge difference, honestly. I mean, a lot of the stuff they've been doing is 5-man pro, right? Allowing those backs to get out on the routes, allowing those H-backs or the tight ends to just chip and then get out on the route. A lot of the stuff they've been doing is 5-man pro, so it's not like they're getting beat, man. I mean, what, 2 pressures all game? Maybe 3, I don't know. No hits, no sacks, hell of a run game. Like, yeah, they're playing really well, and Bach would certainly help. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Bach wouldn't help. That'd be dumb, right? But, whew, against this vaunted Rams defensive line, these dudes, they've come to play today, man. They're really good. Really, really good. Is our D playing softer, or do the Rams figure something out? Your D's playing a little bit softer. You're actually getting a little bit of, I think, what's called catch man, where they're playing inside a line, and they're willing to let the Rams go ahead. And in catch man, if you can run down the field throwing speed outs and hitches, okay. Eventually they're thinking the Rams are going to make a mistake or get greedy. But as that clock continues to run, if you want to just run speed outs down the field and put together 14, 15 play drives that take a lot of time off the clock. Now, obviously, speed out allows you to get out of bounds and stop the clock, but eventually the Packers, I'm thinking, are thinking that the Rams are going to get greedy and make a mistake, or get a little impatient, or just make a flat-out mistake, and they can go be opportunistic. So, I don't know. Big stand needed here, though, because this could turn it into a one-possession game. This is that big naked boot that I was showing you guys on film earlier in the week. That really condenses the reads for Jared Goff, and if he doesn't like the touchdown to check down looks he's getting, he can go be an athlete and stay ahead of the sticks that way. So watch this one, this big empty boot here. He's looking touchdown. Now watch his eyes. He goes touchdown to check down. He's like, I don't like any of that. We'll go put it ahead of the sticks and go ahead and get into second and 4. He could have. Oh man, he should have thrown it. He should have thrown the corner out on Flood, that ding dong. I shouldn't say that. He makes a lot more money and is a better athlete and a better human being and probably a lot smarter than I am. But he had a touchdown there. The Rams gave up a touchdown. Look at 11 filling. I love when little wide receivers, and 11 doesn't look big to me. I mean, he looks tall, but he's about as dense as Alan Lazard, right? He looks pretty skinny. But he's filling on the inside of wide zone. Let me show you what they tried to do with Jared Goff to get that touchdown, and I think they left points on the field there when Goff didn't throw that corner route. So, you know what? We're going to wait for Flood to come off of the another dead ball. And I'll show you what, when Jared Goff took that ball and scrambled with it and picked up 6, he left 6 points on the field. He definitely had a touchdown there. But I'll show you. A little Wildcat formation again from the Rams. If my count is right, that's the second Wildcat they've run. That didn't go anywhere. That didn't fool anybody. Nice job defensively. No, that's not Tyler Lancaster. Who's that dude? Price. JJ. Who's 78? Price. I don't know who that dude is. Which doesn't mean anything. I don't know who most of these guys are. But I'm falling behind on these again. I'm sorry. Jared says, seems a little early to play soft. It's their defensive philosophy, and honestly, it's what's gotten them here thus far. But we'll see how they adjust here in the red zone. Had him deep corner. Right you are, Mark. I'm going to show you that. But, I mean, you guys are just oh, sure, I'm the kiss of death, man. As soon as I brag a kid up, he's going to jump offside. So here we go, dead ball. What they're going to do here off of wide zone is I don't think that's exactly how it was. It's more along the lines of this. Okay, they're going to run play action wide zone this way. Quarterback's going to come out of it and then boot this way. And then the way flood happens, or the way flood works, is you're going to take that deep route, that corner route. And why that's so important there is because if he's with a safety and you throw it over here where I have Pack Daddy and JJ Leahy up, that safety's on the backside of that route, and he had it. He definitely had it. Now, it's a nice job by the corner kind of playing in the middle of that, because what Flood is trying to do is flood these zones up, right? Get 3 guys onto a 2-guy zone, knowing that this backer or that dime nickel player, whoever it is, has to go cover the flats. Okay, if that corner drills down to this route at all, you got the touchdown over the top of them. He did a nice job kind of slow playing that, and I think that's what made Jared Goff think, I'm going to go ahead and tuck this sucker and run it, because he had kind of drifted up a little bit and then came down, but I still think he had that in the corner of the end zone if he were to pull the trigger. And I'll be a little bit more sure on that once I get to see it in film and get to slow it down and take a look. I think the corner kind of slow played it and made Goff decide early that he was going to tuck it. Oh, man. JJ says they're going to have to settle for another field goal, speaking it into existence. Price is a practice squad guy. Hasn't gotten many snaps this year, but played a few games at DN. Thank you, buddy. This is why boy, he just drug 51. That's weird, too, because that 51, that rookie kid, he's a good tackler. He's a missile, right? So that's a tough play by number 23. Look, these guys get paid, too. They're good football players, too. There's a reason they get here. So, One possession game. I think it's too early to go for 2 here. But out of Wildcat formation, man, he just literally put his head down and ran through Barnes. Oh, I thought it was Martin. I was wrong. Thank you. I'm sure you're going to correct me here. I hope you're going to correct me here. But I thought that was Kamal Martin. It was actually that Chris Barnes kid. But he's a pretty good tackler too. I mean, he's a violent down the hill kind of guy. So, well, I don't agree with this, to be honest with you. I think it's too early to go for 2. You miss this sucker, it's still a 2-score game. I think you just take the extra point and go for 2 when you need to. But I'm old school. Little tunnel. Oh, look at hook and lateral. That is sexy, huh? So what you got here is you're setting up a tunnel screen from the Rams, and then you get this receiver on a little snag route or a little tunnel in, and you get the tailback to leak out, so the whole defense comes in, collapses on him. You got hook and ladder here. When you lateral that sucker, and you just take that to the end. That was nasty. That was a gutsy call, man. Woo-hoo-hoo. Usually see that really late game type of stuff, but that's fun. I mean, I love watching football. This is just unfair. My apologies. I know you guys are probably pissed off about that, but you got to tip your hat to the Rams. It's a pretty slick little play. Little hook and lateral with the tailback. I don't know. I thought that was cool. We went through flood already. If you have questions or anything like that, feel free to hit them up into the chat. Let me go ahead and see what we got going on here. Nice zone and cutback for the first, and they're starting to take some momentum. They worked it, and our offense has slowed. Now you got to make a decision if you're Green Bay. 1-score game, you know, and obviously a 7-point game, so you're going to have to start to figure it out now. Do you want to put this sucker back in Rodgers' hands, knowing that, you know, right before the half, he had 2 dropped picks and missed MVS on a big play down the field and stuff, so he's been a little bit shaky, but at the end of the day, he's Aaron friggin' Rodgers, so do you want to put that in his hands, or do you want to just keep pummeling the ball? Know that you've got an offensive line right now that is absolutely destroying this D-line. Do you want to take a little clock? You want to run it and pick up some first, or do you want to put it back in Rodgers' hands? I don't know. That's beyond me. That's why they make all the money. Nice creativity by the Rams. Hope we get it going. I thought that was great creativity. I thought that was actually really, really slick. My apologies here. Let me make sure that we're not actually burning the house down at home. All right. Okay, so we got no house fires, so that's good. We're in for a treat, guys. Something tells me that Green Bay's got a little creativity up their sleeves too offensively. I know a lot of the knocks on Green Bay is that, you know, they kind of come out and when they get a little bit of a lead, they play it softer, a little bit safer. But man, something tells me the gloves are off right now, and they're going to come out with something. Maybe it's a little change of pace stuff like duo. Maybe one thing I haven't really seen is sprint pass. We've seen a lot of play action, right? Seen a lot of play action with Rodgers moving the pocket that way, but I haven't seen just a straight roll pass yet, and I'd be very interested to see how they take sprint protection and sprint pass, and how the Rams corners and outside backers are going to defend that. If they're going to come up and try to set the edge, or if they're going to drop into some more coverage type of looks. So I'd like to see that. Maybe come out with a little sprint pass, get Rodgers on it, move that pocket a little bit, and see what you can come up with there. See if you can manufacture some yards that way. That's returnable. See if you can actually get a block. Who is this dude? 25. That's a really good wall block by him, 25. Oh, yeah, and you definitely want to catch that ball, by the way, Alan Lazard. That's some prime coaching there for you. Ah, shoot. I have to get back to... I keep forgetting about you guys in the comments. My apologies. I just get talking, and I guess I'm very egotistical and like to just hear myself talk. What's LA doing defensively that's making LaFleur decide not to keep running with AJ automatic 9 yards Dylan? I think it's just kind of that home run threat that you have now. You're right, automatic 9 yards Dylan, but that home run threat that you have from Jones, I think he's a little bit faster up to that backer level and reads zone a little bit better. Look at the push that they're getting, guys. 5-6 yards a carry. This is nasty. But then you also have the home run threat with Jones, where he can pop that sucker off for 70, right? Haven't quite seen a ton of that out of A.J. Dillon yet. I think he's still just trying to run through linebackers as opposed to set them up and then just take that block on the angle as it's starting to get there. That's what Aaron Jones does that really well. Man, as he starts getting to that second level, that linebacker level, he's already decided in his head where he's going to be able to go based on the path or the assumed path of the offensive lineman coming behind him. So it's what they call vision, and it's really good. A little more play action here. Rodgers. I don't know. Was he past the line there? I guess I don't know. I'd like to see sprint pass, though. Not play action. But just let's see what they can do moving the pocket. How are you going to put that outside backer in conflict? So that's what I was seeing, JJ. I'm not exactly sure if that's what the running backs coach or the offensive coordinator from Green Bay is thinking, but that's at least what I saw. Green Bay should just run the ball, Universal Truth says. JJ says number 25 is safety Will Redmond. Oh, dude, is that the dude that we were liking the way that kid fills on an alley when, I don't know if it was Amos or Savage or somebody was out or something, and 25 was playing? Like, he's kind of a coverage liability, but he's a nasty dude. He'd really fill the alley well. Look at all the time he has, and then just so good at finding mismatches. Allen Lazard on number 43. Look, I know it's not a universal truth, but usually if you have a dude in the 40s on a slot receiver, you're going to have an athletic mismatch. I know the key, or the one that breaks the rule, the exception to that rule is the Ravens number 44, Marlon Humphrey, because that dude's a freak. But usually when you see a dude in the 40s covering a dude in number 13, you're going to have an athletic mismatch there. So, and then the time in the pocket for Rodgers to just let that drag develop is just gorgeous. A little more pony package here. They're going to start hitting him out of it. Flats. Oh, man. Feed him now. Feed him. I'm talking about Devontae, by the way. Yes, on punt returns, punt coverage, I mean, yeah. JJ and I really like that number 25 kid. He was one of the few bright spots. Him and, Allen Lazard, when Lazard had to play some specials, was a bright spot on your special teams, that number 25 kid. He's a good football player. When he starts to understand coverages a little bit better and maybe gets a little more fluid, I don't know what exactly they're looking from him at a safety level, but he's one of those dudes that you need on a football team, as a quality backup safety, but also can go make a difference on that sort of stuff. I mean, if you had an entire special teams unit built out of 49, 13, and 25, you'd be scoring touchdowns left and right. So, I don't know. They've got some pretty quality depth there, which is a very encouraging thing. All right, got a little break here. Did I put anything on the board? All right, sweet. Got nothing to talk about. So if you have questions and stuff like that, I'm going to do my very best to keep up on the comments here. Into the fourth quarter, it's crunch time. Obviously, a huge drive for Green Bay. I want to see something a little different. I mean, they're doing a good job taking some time off the clock and getting it down. I don't want to see the home run, just kind of like the old, you guys used to get so frustrated in the McCarthy era of just like, chuck it up 4 times and then see if you can get something to go or draw a flag. But I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more aggression, a little more creativity. And when I say aggression and creativity, I'm not saying abandon the run. Okay? One thing we haven't seen from Green Bay yet that could also really put those dudes in a pickle is if you can get them to if you can steer their defensive line somehow. That's not where Noah's aligns. If you can steer their defensive line somehow, and I know that you're smart enough to do it, one of the things we've yet to see is, and another great way to go ahead and screw up that those linebackers' reads, if you wanted to run it this way, is trap. Okay, we haven't seen any trap yet, so you can come here with it, and you can crack back, or you can leak up, or you can come through and then fill in with that H. Okay, haven't seen any trap, haven't seen any gap schemes yet out of them aside from duo. If you want to call duo a gap scheme, because I guess it technically is, but it's pretty much inside zone paths. You can get creative. You can run trap. Dude, Elton Jenkins is a man. Okay, so you can run trap to the 3-tech. If you are good at steering them, that dude's a man. If you can figure out a way to steer it, this is an even better look for you, especially, let's just say you go full spread. You go 10 personnel. You just got your running back, A.J. Dillon, let's say, because he's a good trap runner. That means you're going to have one inside backer. This is a really good look, angles-wise. Remember, blocking is all about angles. Let that 3-tech come up the field and just trap him, kick him with Elton Jenkins. He's pretty good at that. That'd be cool to see. I think you could get it, too. You'd have to come out of a not condensed set, though. Layups to Devontae. Layups to Devontae. Just stealing yards, man. First downs. You want to play off on Devontae, he's going to give you a first down. If you're not bracketing him, of course, you know, like Carolina did. If you're not going to bracket Devontae and you're going to play off coverage on him, he's going to give you first downs. Shoot, I forgot about the comments again. Doggone it. Let's go Rams. Pretty sure the Packers will still win this game. All right, I like it. Hey, JJ wants a flea flicker. I don't know if I get that aggressive and creative. I don't know. That's completely up to them. They're smarter than I am. You got to set a flea flicker up, though. You got to have safeties filling in the run game for a flea flicker to work. Otherwise, you're just taking a lot of time to throw into coverage. Nub set again, JJ. They love the nub set, man. Still positive yards, man. 2-3 yards a pop. We got a Rams fan in the house, HW. Welcome back. Let's go Rams. If you are a Rams fan, like a true Rams fan and not just a Packer hater, well, I guess either way you go with it. I don't care if you're a Packer hater. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. The Rams have battled. You know, they've been outmatched very, very blatantly on the defensive side of the ball thus far with some really, really good schemes and some really smart play calling by Green Bay. But this offense has looked a lot better than I thought it would. So they're making some stuff happen, especially without their solid M receiver. Outside zone path on that. That's not going to work. Good drop. Great drop. I don't know if that was Jones dropping it on purpose or an accident, or maybe Rodgers just throwing it out knowing that dude was going to get popped, but that was going to be a reception for -4 yards. So it's a great drop. Whether it was intentional or not, that was great. What are your thoughts on Mac Jones? Do you think he's a good quarterback? To be honest with you, buddy, HW, first and foremost, that's a great question. I just haven't seen a ton on him. And I'm not really good at grading players out when I'm unfamiliar with their scheme. And Alabama is just so dynamic with their scheme. So I'm sure he's a good quarterback. I don't know if that'll actually translate to the pros or something like that. That's really not my forte. I'm not really smart on that. Rams bringing pressure here. Look out. Rick Wagner died. Nope, Lucas Patrick died. The man died on the field. That's not good. He got bull rushed. They're calling for hands to the face on it. Rodgers is. Let's see what happened here. I think they brought 5 in a man protection scheme. Oh, yeah. This is nasty. So that's that smash again that I was telling you about, except it came from the other side. Oh, man, that's nasty. Poor Lucas Patrick died. The communication kind of broke down there for the offensive line, and he got blindsided, never saw it coming. So remember, before the half on that, right before halftime on that long pass to Big Bob here, I'm going to let this punt go off, and then I'm going to show you what happened on that play so that to where Lucas Patrick just got slobber knocked, as I would say. Boy, this snapper's having a bad day. Yikes. That's a good spot to stand, 34. I think they're going to say that he was blocked into the punter. That's why he's not going to have any of that contact. And I don't hear what these guys are saying. But if this is a dead ball, it is right here. Okay, this was nasty, man, by the Rams. So remember that big play to Big Bob Tunyon right before halftime had the stunt coming this way, right? The smash coming this way, where the end came and just slobber knocked, as I told Mark, and then this tackle was supposed to loop around. Well, what just happened on that play, first of all, it's 5-man pressure against man protection, so it's dudes one-on-one, right? This is like an old basketball pick play from the Mike backer here. You got this and this look going. Actually, I think he came from a nose set, a 3-tech, and an end. Okay, they're going to run them up the field and make sure that these guys are out of the protection scheme. And then what happened is the nose pitches hard down on the center, and this Mike, as Patrick is looking this way, looking for this big spike and putting a hand on the nose, when the nose starts to loop around the center, the Mike, Patrick's never going to see it coming, man. It's nasty. Mike is just going to come in and absolutely railroad him here, run through him, and then that end can loop around inside. My guess is Lindsley should be calling that out, whatever the call is for it. We call it smash, so just smash, smash, smash to make sure these guys are getting their eyes on it. But if that nose was fully engaged on Lindsley and he's holding all of his attention, that call may not have come in. That's a nasty play, man. I hate when our defense runs it in practice, because I'm like, dude, you're gonna kill our offensive linemen, and we kind of need them for Friday night. So, but yeah, it's a good, first and foremost, tip your hat to the Rams, because that's a great defensive scheme, knowing that you can probably hold his attention and all the attention backside. But that's nasty. I mean, that's a good angle. You put him on his butt. Hopefully he's okay. I hope there's no noggin issues or anything like that. But then, yeah, that's going to really open up that door. The reason it opens up the door for that end coming in, and the reason you can run this on 3rd and 7 is if Rodgers does escape the pocket, you're thinking you can get to him with some of those flat cover dudes before he gets 7 yards. But when this guard gets knocked back like this, and this Mike is in here and just railroading him and knocking him back like this, you know, this tackle can't really, 71 can't really come all the way in, and it's going to open up that door because there's trash here. There's a middle linebacker and a guard falling on his butt, so he can't really redirect all the way through here because there's dudes in the way. Now that end can come through and get some pressure. Good play call, man. Third and long. We talked about that here pregame, and we talked about it last night. If you can avoid 3rd and long, you know, you can, for the most part, neutralize this pass rush, but the Rams fell victim to it. We just saw the Packers fall victim to it a little bit. The Cardinals definitely fell victim to it. The Niners fell victim to it. When you get these dudes in 3rd and long, and they can bring 5, whoo, baby, can they get nasty. Let's see what kind of defensive stand you can make here, Green Bay. Oh, Kevin King, we talked about that too. Sometimes he's got to be that off-cover dude if you're going to have some press and robber stuff up to the field. So it's not totally a Kevin King fault. That is kind of a defensive play call to where they're getting some robber stuff up on the other side of the field, so they got to play him off a little bit, hoping that Goff throws into the robber, but he didn't. Interesting to see this here. Oof, Woods again. It's a whip route. I mean, this is pretty intelligent here from LA putting it together. Oh, my bad. HW retracted all their messages, which is too bad because I thought they were actually really good questions, and it was nice to have a Ram in here. So HW, if you are still watching, please feel free to come back. I hope I wasn't mean. I hope I wasn't being a jerk or anything. Jared says, not good. Seems like they're figuring us out. Yeah, getting 3rd and long, most certainly. Brandon says they're going after King now. Yep, we kind of think that was going to happen. Now you're going to start to see King get a little bit of help, I think, especially out of these condensed sets from the Rams. Wildcat now just attacking his... Oh, no. You can't get stiff-armed like that, buddy. You got to set the edge. That's why it's so important to set the edge with the outside shoulder, 55. You got to keep your outside arm free. If you're coming in on this and you're taking that banana route, that's going to happen more often than not, right? You got to set it to his outside shoulder. You can't set the edge there from the inside. You got to get out to his outside shoulder, keep your outside arm free, force him back into all the help, force him back into the angry linebackers inside. You can't get beat outside on that, man. That's too bad. Empty set now from the Rams as they're kind of ahead of the chains. What's going on here? Oh, he didn't get the play call. You better hurry it up, Goff. Empty set is 5-man protection. You're only rushing 3. What are you doing? This is where I get really frustrated with Pettin. When you have empty, you know there's one protection scheme they can run. It's man protection. Bring fire. Bring 5 or 6. You're bringing 3. You're playing right into their hands. Of course, he's going to have time to pick apart zones like that. This is where I get frustrated with Pettin. And I think Pettin is very, very smart. Don't get me wrong. But look at all the double teams that can occur. Why are you only bringing 3? There's one protection they can run. It's empty. They can run 5. Okay? They can only run BOB or big on big protection, man protection. Bring 5. Hell, have some fun. Bring 6. It's 2nd and 6. Play lock, cover 0, and just go with it. See if you can get a dude there. I don't like it, but I digress. Goff has been pretty impressive on point, no mistakes. I agree. They're certainly setting him up with some pretty easy stuff. I think, anyways. Sean McVay and whoever the Rams offensive coordinator is are setting him up with some pretty easy stuff. 1 read type of plays, 1 to 2 type of reads. He's hit some progressions. You saw that earlier. Those throws to number 11 were progression throws where he checked off of number 1 and went down to 2. I do think he made a couple of mistakes, though not interceptions, but I think he left some points on the field on the corner route. Obviously, it didn't matter. They went down and scored later, but took some time off the clock. So, boy, we're in for a game now, folks. You better get that snap, buddy. There it is. That's a coverage sack for sure. For sure. But that's what happens when you bring 4 and sometimes bring 5. That's 4 on 6, and that's a coverage sack. Your secondary is very good. Trust them, especially if they go empty, man. What the hell? Play a little lock. Play a little bit man cover 0 and bring 6. Or bring cover 1 and bring 5. Or bring, I don't know. I get frustrated at that sort of stuff. I think empty should be an auto blitz where you're at least bringing 5. And that's not a blitz. That's a pressure to me because you have 5 defenders for 5 pass blockers. And a blitz to me is bringing +1. But bring some pressure or bring a blitz, man. I don't like it. That's just me, though. I guess that's there's different philosophies. I think they're going to try to bait him into making a mistake. 3rd and 16. This might be where it happens. So. Do I have anything on the board? Nothing I have to talk about thus far. Let me show you what I'm talking about when they're in empty, okay? When teams are in empty, obviously you have no tailback and you have no tight end who can help you block. You literally have 5 offensive linemen. When you bring just 3, like the Packers did there, that means all but one dude is going to get double teamed, right? So what they can do here is they can just double team that dude, double team that dude, put Billy Turner one-on-one, or put their left tackle, I forget who it is, Whitworth. Oh yeah, that dude's a dude too. Okay, so you can put this dude one-on-one here. Now his only job is don't get beat inside. Like, just don't get beat inside, run him up the hoop. Goff is going to have all sorts of time to throw. And we know that zones and man break down with a little bit of time. We've seen some scramble rules or really late drags coming across the field to that kid. Okay, that's what it was, or Woods. I don't remember who caught that really late drag, but you got all the time in the world for that thing to develop, and you can throw into the holes of zone. I don't like it. Bring a little pressure. Have some fun. Now you're just making off-schedule throws. 3rd and 16, that obviously had no chance to do it, which is good. I mean, you got him off schedule, but boy, I would have liked to see them get them off the field in empty. I think you left a chance there for something fun to happen. But, hey, that's me. Obviously it worked, so I digress. Ooh, 52. Now, remember when we were talking about Rashawn Gary and his extension and his violence with his hands? He just took a first ballot Hall of Fame tackle and put him into the lap of the quarterback. Ooh, Johnny Hecker almost missed that snap. Yikes. That's scary for Rams fans. 16, I know some people are getting kind of frustrated with Tavon Austin, but he just saved you about 15 yards there as well by making that fair catch and actually coming up on that ball. So, all right. We got some questions here. My apologies. Big hold on Gary, says Jared. My guess is on that last play. When Gary 52 tried to cross the face of 77 Whitworth, yeah, the hands got a little outside there. But you could kind of call a hold on every play, except for that backside zone play with Rick Wagner, because that was not a hold. Whatever. I digress. I could sit here and whine about officials all day, but at the end of the day, I can't control it. So that's something I had to learn early on in my coaching career is no matter how much I complain about officials, doesn't really change anything. So True Bruce Steve is back. Welcome back, buddy. Can we get a breakdown on Aaron's form with that Happy Gilmore swing? Pretty good footwork. I'm not the golf guy. My guess is it's pretty good, but I can't. Eventually, maybe some of you will see me golf, and it is miserable. Like, I am such a bad golfer. I'm pretty good at driving a golf cart, though. I can have some fun with that, but I am just a miserable golfer. So can't give you any tips and tricks on that footwork there. But welcome back, Steve. Jared says, time to bury him. Let's go. Show him what you got. Matt LaFleur, I agree. Let's get a little aggressive here if you're Green Bay. Huge stop. Gary's a beast. Yeah, it was a hold on Gary. I'm not saying I disagree on the hold. I'm just saying that sometimes, well, actually more often than not, the offensive linemen are going to get away with that, especially on a late cross face into the pocket. But what we saw from 52 on that against 77, as 77 hit his drop, we were just talking about this dude's violence with his hands and that extension. So once he got extension, or once he was able to push that tackle off, now he's allowed to steer him. Okay? Now that tackle, 77, is on his heels. And if you're on your heels as a tackle, or any offensive lineman, you're in big trouble because now you're leaning, you're kind of stood up, you got to almost hop to reset. Okay? So when you get that big extension like Gary got right away, a couple of things that can happen. you can pull that lineman down and use his momentum against him as he's trying to lean to get back off his heels. You can literally just pull him. It's something that our defensive line coach is so good at teaching, is the bull to pull. So get that big bull rush and just pull him down. You snap him down, you bounce their face off the turf. It's nasty, right? So you can get that, but what Gary did was got that big extension and then ripped under it and was able to get underneath that tackle. Sure, it might have been hold. I don't know. I'm not smart enough or get paid enough to be an official. Okay, but as he got that extension is what sets up that entire move for him. So great job by Rashawn Gary, and a good job by Mike Smith, the outside backers coach, really obviously working with him on that, because we saw up to like week 9, week 10, he was getting a lot of body contact. Here we go, first down. Gonna just play some smash mouth football behind Billy Turner being a dude. Aaron Jones just not stopping. Billy Turner, man, when he doesn't extend and when he gets his body into a defender, whoo, that's good stuff. That's the exact same thing we saw on Aaron Jones' touchdown, right? Just tucking that sucker behind Billy Turner and letting him be a road grader. Watch 77 here on 90. See how he's not extending his arms? He's actually just running his feet through that block. That's how you teach him to do it, baby. And look at Patrick just out there being active. Good to see. Great to see, baby. 2nd and 4. Now you're ahead of the chains. You got a little pony package here. How are they going to adjust? Now you got your bruiser. Uh-oh. Thank God you have Aaron Rodgers. Is Dylan hurt, or is he just mad that he fumbled? Whew. That's a lucky bounce. Yeah, that dude's hurt. That was a heck of a fill by that backer. Who did he pop Dylan on that? Holy smokes. 51 here came with just a brutal fill. Oh, it's a bad mesh. So Aaron Jones is A.J. Dillon is kind of standing up a little bit higher than he normally is, and that's just a heck of a pop. That's a good edge. So they ran a little gap exchange there. Let me show you what happens on gap exchange after we all take a moment and appreciate Rodgers again kind of saving the game there. Okay, but gap exchange stuff means that this backer, if you see zone, okay, any type of zone, that was zone away, okay? So when you see this here, and the tailback's going to try to fit in here, gap exchange means this backer actually loops to maintain this backside C gap and push all of that stuff back in, and then this defensive end crosses face here and holds B gap. Okay, they're just running some gap exchange stuff, which means as A.J. Dillon, and this kind of goes back to a little bit of the vision we were talking about, right, where it's kind of lacking at times for him, because remember, this was A.J. Dillon right here, and they sent Aaron Jones in that type of motion, right? Or I don't remember where they came from, they were the exact alignment, but I know he's coming back to hit it right here. This is where Aaron Jones kind of sees this a little better. So A.J. Dillon is seeing this and sees his DN crossing face here, so he just assumes I have C gap open. Well, this Mike is looping around to it and some gap exchange stuff, and that's where the Mike hits the edge here really, really hard, seals it back inside. This is that 51 kid, comes in and holds a really tight edge and forces him back inside, and now he gets popped on it. So Aaron Jones, at times, I've seen when teams run gap exchange and it's Aaron Jones here, when it's 33, he can kind of at least diagnose it a little bit earlier, and knowing that Mike is coming in, he kind of slow plays it and lets this end cross face and gets tackled by that. Then as this Mike drills down to C gap, he just follows the butt of the tackle up. So that's what I'm talking about path on defensive line and that vision, or the path of the offensive line. He kind of understands, like, hey, they're not just going to give up C-gap, right? If a dude's leaving C-gap, that's because another dude is coming in to fill it. So he kind of understands that a little better. He'll kind of slow play it a little bit, and then once that tackle starts to cross his face, washing that end down, then he'll pop it up and get vertical. So that's just kind of the difference between Jones and Dillon. Dillon is aggressive, dude. He's that bruiser, but as we just saw, sometimes even bruisers go down on contact when you're forced back inside, and especially the little bit of an ugly mesh doesn't help. There's 51 with that gap exchange. This is coming back in, and then that D lineman can go ahead and cross that face and come back. So, yeah, bummer. You definitely don't want to see that dude go down. Hopefully it's nothing major, but great job by Rodgers getting back on that sucker. AJ not seeing any more snaps, I agree, probably, Jared. Jamal Williams, to me anyways, he's got a little bit better vision than AJ Dillon does. And then, so he can be that bruising back still. But he's got a little bit better vision. Big play here. 10 personnel, trips right point, or trips right on, we call it. Switching him to change the protection, I think, or to steer the front, maybe. Because you can see that 3-tech go that way. Uh-oh, get up the field, son. Just go get it. Go get it. Go. Oh, my God, what a great effort. This is what I'm telling you about that 83 kid. His effort is just outstanding. I get it. You guys get pissed off because he drops the ball all the time. I totally understand it. It would be very frustrating. But look at his effort, dude. Look at his effort. And he's smart enough to know that when he's reaching that ball over, start to bring it out of bounds. That way, if you get hit or you lose it or something, good chance with the momentum of that football, you just fumble it out of bounds when you're stretching that sucker. So just really good stuff from MVS. Always loved that kid's effort. Obviously, his execution can be better at times, but you just got to appreciate his effort. This is actually 11 personnel. My bad. They just got Tunyon out wide. Layups. Layups. I mean, there's no difference between that layup throw to Devontae and a nice inside zone run for 4 yards, right? You're still picking it up. You're still winding that clock. You're protecting your lead, and you're staying ahead of the sticks. Rodgers approves of MVS. That's awesome. Look at the blocking, too, by MVS, just washing that kid down, attacking that upfield shoulder of that driving down safety and walling him out. Just MVS appreciation post, man. I do appreciate that, too. Oh, yeah, give me end zone view. Give me that whole snap from right here. Let me see what we got. Oh, you jerks. I just want end zone. Good play action. Suck the backers up. Touchdown! Allen Lazard. You set that up by running duo and wide zone. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that is the huge play. That big play action. This is why you're going over the top. JJ was talking about a flea flicker. That's just as good. When you start sucking everybody in, now you got to get the safeties filling because A, you're throwing layups to Devontae, or B, you're getting 4 or 5 yards of carry and draining that sucker down. You get those safeties in, you get those inside linebackers up, you get a little stutter release from Allen Lazard. Who's going to run with him? Who's going to run with him? What a great throw. Rodgers crowned him. Ooh, you love to see it. Yo, that's a big play. Obviously, you know that. That's a big play. But, y'all, that's a big play, and that sucker was set up. Your snapper had better figure his life out, though. I'm telling you that. Again, another bad snap. Take the gloves off, put the gloves on, change something, because that is a great hold. I don't know if they'll replay that extra point, but that's a great hold by the holder. That sucker came to his backside, and he had to sling that sucker around. Figure your life out, long snapper. You got one job. Do it better. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty. Hello, Rick Wagner, too. Hello, Rick Wagner. And then you just, one false step is all it takes, man. One false step is all it takes by those secondary players. Yo, look at that. No more alligator arms. Went out and got it. Yo, let's go. That's certainly set up. Certainly set up. JJ Leahy is absolutely right that MVS earns a roster spot with effort. It's all those little plays you don't think about. 3rd and 3. Right, on that drive that might end up sealing the game, who knows? But that effort towards the end, not just to extend that ball over to get the first, but also drift that ball to the sideline. Should he lose it, he's going to fumble it out of bounds, and it's still going to be a first down. Like, all that sort of stuff is effort, baby. Effort. What a great kickoff. Those things are so hard to field when that thing is coming off wobbly like that. Hey, your special teams is in trouble again. Surprise. Yo, 44 is having a tough day, man. Your long snapper's just not having a good day. I don't know if PFF grades long snappers, but that may not be a good one. His coverage. So the long snapper is supposed to be the point man on, and I think 44 is your long snapper, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but on kickoff, that long snapper is usually like L2, L3, a little bit bigger bodied dude. He's supposed to be the point man. He's supposed to go down and avoid the block on first level and absorb it on second level. It doesn't look like he avoided the block on first level. It looked like he got pushed out there. I think 44 is your long snapper. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. You guys are way smarter than I am. Heavy condensed sets from the Rams, a pretty good field position, and they're just taking outs. Jandon Sullivan's a sure tackler, though. Oh, shoot. My bad. Linebacker Ty Summers. So he's not your long snapper. My apologies. Well, he was still wrong on that kickoff. Thank you, JJ, for that. Jared Whitlow says, be careful with those screens. Yeah. Oh, no! That's bracket coverage. They literally had that thing set up to bait the out route to that that receiver here, 81, they baited this. Watch this. They bait this throw knowing that Goff wants those out routes. Now he can undercut it knowing he's got help from Jair over the top. It's almost the exact same premise. Oh, that's not fair. That dude has a club. That's not fair. That's like trying to catch a ball with frying pans. Yeah, it sucks. But great play call nonetheless, because that's almost the exact same thing that we saw with Chandon Sullivan, 39 on 4th and 1 with the Bears. So great play call. They've been allowing those outs to happen so that hopefully they could get that undercut. Unfortunately, they got the undercut, the trap bracket coverage, when 51 was wearing a tree stump on his left hand. Okay, my bad. So Jared said be careful with those screens, and that's actually a great call by you, because it was totally set up. There's just another man. It's a great call by you saying be careful with those screens to 17, right? Because I don't care if you have the X here and 83 here off the line. What they're watching for is that, right? So let's just say this is 13, and when they're throwing those little screens to Devontae, if this safety is starting to come down and hammer those screens and come down fast, then that's going to set up the touchdown to Allen Lazard. If he's running this way, he can't be running this way, right? So you're right, they're starting to jump those screens, but as soon as they jump those screens, it's set up, and now you can go take your touchdown over the top. Gorgeous. He's dead. Yeah, probably don't throw now screens Alexander's way. He's a pretty sure tackling corner. Lazard held on, sucked that safety up. Right you are, Mark. You're darn right. Suck that safety up with all of the runs, and then those little quick screens. Well, not even screens, just layups to Devontae. There's a lot of teams that literally call them the layup route, where you don't even run a route. You just pivot and catch the ball. As soon as that snap comes, Rodgers usually doesn't even find the laces. He usually catches that ball, turns, and hucks that sucker over there. Not quite a bubble. It's not quite a tunnel. It's just pivot. Just turn and catch the ball and get up the field. So you're absolutely right, Mark. They set that sucker up. Yeah, hands in the passing lane. That's the first time I saw hands way up by your outside backers and D-line, and it's probably because Rob Havenstein is a big, mean dude. So the problem when you get your hands up as a defender is you're letting this whole midsection get exposed. Havenstein was a little late on that one. When you get those hands up, you're letting your whole rib section be exposed, and usually if a tackle comes in and chops that sucker, it hurts. And it hurts bad, and it'll put you on the ground. So, obviously, very big play here. Packers showing a 4-man rush. Rams keeping 6-man protection. Full slide. Oh, yeah, he got through. That's your ball game, folks. Well, I shouldn't call it that early. A lot of time left, but that is a big play. Big play. Look at that. Look at that jersey all ripped to shreds. You have any idea how tough jerseys are? Like, especially those ones. They're so tough. So for 55 to be all torn up like that, just shows that he's playing hard. This is good stuff here. And it's literally just bull. It's just gap responsibility. There's no stunt, no pressure or anything. 52 is headed up the field. Has a chance because, again, he does such a good job with his extension. He goes ahead and redirects there. Watch here. Watch his extension. And then he can redirect underneath it. Like, wow. He just blew that tight end off the line with his extension. Then he can redirect as Goff tries to take it up the field. And that's a great play, boys. Long snapper, Hunter Bradley, number 43. Appreciate you, JJ. I knew I'd screw all that personnel stuff up. I don't know why I started talking like I knew something. Oh, Jair feeling it. Laser vision. This is team effort. They're like, yo, let's go. Run the damn ball. There it is. Oh, cut it back a little too early. I had to tuck that sucker. Well, easy for me to say from the comfort of my nice little rocking chair here. But I'd have probably tried to tuck that sucker behind tackle. I'm not trying to bounce these things to the outside. I'm trying to hold on to the football knowing they're raking it, doing my best to get 3 yards in a cloud of dust if I'm a running back. How you feeling, Packer fans? This has got to be really exciting for you, huh? Who do you want to see? Do you want to see the Saints or you want to see the Bucks? Who do you want to see tomorrow? Throw that in there. Or not tomorrow. I mean, who do you want to win tomorrow? If you guys can hang on here and go into next week. You want to see the Saints or you want to see the Bucks? Rams are packing the house now. They got a 7-man box. So the Packers will just counter with a really condensed box. Uh-oh, layups again. Play action. That's kind of a gutsy call unless you're pretty, like, that's a 94% completion rate. And I made that number up, but it sounds really legit. So I'm going to say it's a 94% completion rate, and especially when the Rams are packing the box like that, man. 7-man box, safeties drilled down to help in the run, outside backers coming to set the edge, like layup. Look at that no-looker, too. Freezes 43. Rodgers with a no-look pass in the 4-minute drill, essentially. No-look pass to a flat receiver. Like, that's all right, man. You tip your hat. That's the best to ever do it. Milk this sucker down. 3.5 minutes left. Go and smile a little bit. Take some time off of it. Make the Rams use up their last couple of timeouts. Look at Williams tucking that ball. So when they say cover the ball up, just a little point for you here, and I got this from my running back coach. But when you're running high and tight like that, and they say cover the ball up, they don't mean get 2 hands on the football itself. Because all the defender has to do then is rip your elbows apart or rip your arms off, and that ball is going to go ahead and separate it. So you don't want 2 hands on the ball, okay? Common misconception. Instead, let's say my sweet hat here is the football. Instead, you want a hand on that ball, 3 points of contact, pushing it into your pec, and then the other hand grabs your wrist. So it can't be pulled apart here. Then you just flex your biceps. Don't get 2 hands on the ball. It's going to come apart and separate. Grab your wrist. That's what he did there. Very good job. Ball security, baby. 89 got beat across his face on that block. Jamal Williams just tougher than everybody else. Oh baby, Pack fans, you starting to feel it? You starting to feel it now? Yeah, I guess I kind of had that same question, Jared. Who do you want, Brady or Breeze? I mean, you want the Bucs, you want the Saints. Hopefully, you guys are starting to feel this. Pretty soon, I'm just going to hear eruptions all around my little hometown here, as the Packers are probably going to seal this sucker up. With Aaron Rodgers, it's a 99% completion rate. Appreciate that stat correction there, Mark. See, I knocked it down to 94% because it was a no-look pass. He was literally like, I hope to get that angle again. You know, one of the nice things about NFL Game Pass is they will give you the broadcast angle. So in that replay, I can't wait to show y'all. He's staring at 43, looking him right in the eyes, looking him right in the soul, right? He's just looking through this man, and he goes ahead and dumps it off this way to Big Bob. So that's why I give it a 94 as opposed to a 99. It's all arbitrary numbers that I'm making up because I'm a tool. Brandon says, I'd rather play the Saints, match up well. Jair can limit Thomas, Breeze in cold weather. Offense can score against NED. There you have it, man. The Bucs did some really nasty things to you guys. Layups to Devontae. The Bucs did some really nasty things to you guys in what was it, week 6, right after your bye, where they were able to steer your pass pro and then just picked you apart. So they've got a really good defense with players and then a really smart defense with Todd Bowles. Really understands the offensive line, and once you understand the offensive line, you're going to make a lot of people look foolish. So I guess me, selfishly, I'd like to see the Packers and the Buccaneers for no reason other than to see how they're going to actually adjust that offensive line, how Stenovich and Butkus are going to take care of that offensive line, just so I know how to do it if I ever see it in the future, because I'm really selfish, and I'm just all about me, I guess. But no, I'd like to see the Bucs again. I think that would be a fun matchup to have. Hoo-wee, baby, I hope you're all feeling it. Hope you're feeling it. 2:30 left. Obviously, it's not over, but whoo, baby. You're feeling pretty good now. Now, if you're Green Bay, here's the conundrum, right? Do you want to go score right away, or do you just milk this clock down knowing that they're out of timeouts? Like they only have the 2-minute warning. You know, if you get the chance, if you bust this one to the outside, do you score? I'm an offensive-minded coach, so I tend to think score whenever you get the chance to score. Like, how cool would it be to see 39-18? But that's me. I'm not as smart as you guys. First down and just rolling, just mauling people. Corey friggin' Lindsley, he's doing like front flips and back flips, does a little dance after it. I love that dude. I love this offensive line, yo. Thank you for correcting me on that, on reminding me what Jenkins' number is, because this should be a street name in Green Bay, okay? That is outstanding stuff. Outstanding stuff from these dudes. hey, when you're going to the stadium, take a right on 77, 74, 63, 62, 71. You'll go down that for about a block and a half, 2 blocks, and then turn left. Like, that should be a street name. New GB street name. Because this was an unbelievable performance by those dudes. And obviously it's not done yet. I don't mean to get so ahead of myself here, but unbelievable performance. The only time you really saw pressure is when you got into a 3rd and long situation and the Rams queued up just a really dynamic look where they had that Mike come and snap the backside, smash the backside of, that didn't come out right, phrasing Hawn. They had the Mike go ahead and run a smash concept into Lucas Patrick when he couldn't see it. So that's the only time he gave up pressure. This was just an outstanding performance by those dudes. All right, shouldn't be a street name, a block. Jared, that's good stuff. This is a block. Get it? Offensive line? No, that's good stuff. I like it. I love a good dad joke, Jared. Love a good dad joke, and that's most certainly what that was. Yo, as we kind of wrap this thing up, and obviously we're going to watch the game out and stuff like that. Obviously, I can't wait to grade this thing out myself and take a look at this and go through this because this is just going to be awesome, especially considering I don't have school on Monday. I don't have any class because, I don't have kids in class because it's MLK Day, so I'm just going to spend the whole day ice fishing in the morning and then watching film on this. But as we start to wind this game down, I got to tell y'all, thank you so much. This is just an absolute blast for me. I get to have so much fun with you. You're way smarter than me in personnel and stuff like that, which really helps because then I can just literally hang out and watch some of this scheme stuff. So thanks so much for hanging with me. Follow these dudes. That's Pack Daddy. That's JJ Leahy. They're really smart, really entertaining dudes. They do a great job on Packernet. If you're the giving type, go find patreon.com/pack_daddy. Go find patreon.com JJ Leahy. There's a donation button on YouTube too. Give these guys your money if you're the giving type because they work so very hard for this. So it's just super cool to see. I'm very, very excited for all my Packer fan friends. And I'm also not naive. I know how Wisconsin does. It's a Saturday day game, and the Packers are going to come away with a big win. So y'all go party. If you're not partying already, I know Travis is in the chat from time to time. He makes me laugh because he likes to get after it. He likes to party a little bit. So when this sucker hits double zeros, make sure you enjoy it. Make sure you do it safe and smart. Obviously, you don't want to see anything bad come out of a big win like this, but man alive, is this cool. There it is, Green Bay. You're moving on, baby. There's no better formation in the world than this one. That's victory formation. The best rushing yards a quarterback can have is those kneel-down yards. I think it's pretty interesting. That's too bad to see. For every winner, there's a loser, and that's too bad because Aaron Donald played his heart out. The Rams are on the come-up. You gotta keep watching out for them. But anyways, kind of interesting to see Rodgers still taking these snaps, and I think I understand why. In a 2-possession game, he's the dude who takes all of them under center. You know, you don't want to get Tim Boyle out there. You want to make sure that it's Aaron Rodgers. If anybody's still hanging out with me, if you could let me know how the atmosphere was with the 6,000 or so fans at Lambeau, because I don't have sound on, especially in that like 4th and 16 type of set. Did it get loud? Does it sound loud? I sure hope it is, because it's a special, special thing for somebody who's not a Packer fan. Just all the tradition and all the awesomeness that has always been Lambeau, and then obviously a really, really tough year for the United States and tough year for the world. To get this sense of normalcy, man, and especially for you Packer fans, I'm just so happy for you, man. This is cool to see. Can't wait for next week, Can't wait for next week. This sucker goes under 40, and there's your ball game, friends. It's over. Super cool, y'all. When will the Rams wrong arm? Mr. Brian 3413, whenever you think they won't. How's that sound? Opie says, thanks, this was awesome. Thank you for hanging. Ken says, good stuff here, thanks. Thank you, really appreciate it. Jared, you've been awesome. Your questions are phenomenal, dude. You're a really smart dude. Thanks for hanging. Where were the shutdown corners and Donald? They were out schemed. That's where they were. Opie says it was loud. Good. Love to hear that. Love to hear it. Mark says, congrats, Pack. Thanks for teaching, Coach. Good luck on the frozen water, and we'll see you next time. I can't wait for it, bro. Can't wait. And then obviously Ryan, Pat Daddy coming in. Thanks as always, Coach. You're the man. No, you're the man. Ryan, I really appreciate it. It's so much fun to just sit here and talk some ball. So, Packer fans, congrats, yo. This is a lot of fun. Can't wait to go visit that block in Green Bay, Wisconsin as soon as this COVID stuff is done. Congratulations. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you, Jeremy. I was just about to stop streaming, and Jeremy came in and said, great commentary. Thank you. Appreciate that, and it's always so much fun just hanging out with you guys. You're awesome. Jared, y'all enjoy it. Go party it up, live it up, and then just kind of kick your